Okay.
There we
Don't
go.
forget to turn the video sideways so you can see it big.
Gotcha.
Nero for the fire.
Like that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We good. Let's do it.
Right, Septimus. The people are blaming Nero for the fire.
Don't let him walk all over you again.
All right, I'll tell him he should have done more to stop the fire. But Gaius, have you ever seen him walk all over me?
They're saying that the Emperor himself started the fire. And yes, Septimus, I have.
Does he not know half his empire is rising against him?
He's been told, but...
But he doesn't care, does he?
Quite apart from the fact that he's clearly a lunatic.
Oh, and that's your professional opinion?
No. Spotting lunatics is merely a hobby of mine.
Well, forgive me, Gaius, but I'm not going to tell the most powerful man in the world that he's a lunatic. But I will demand answers.
Just stand up to him, Septimus. We're all with you.
Don't worry. Nero will hear our voice, like a clarion.
I was summoned.
It wasn't a summons, Your Majesty.
Yes, Septimus, it was.
Summoned by the Senate that proclaimed me a god.
I think we should actually...
Last time I looked Gaius Varus a god, handsomely outranks a senator.
There are some urgent matters that we must address, Your Majesty.
Are there now?
The fire. It destroyed half of Rome.
I'm aware.
But are you also aware that the people are placing blame for the fire?
On who?
On you, Your Majesty.
Is that so?
It is.
Well, what have you done about it?
Done about it?
Yes, you're the Senate. What have you done about it?
Your Majesty, the Senate of Rome doesn't deal with rumors.
Well, apparently it does because I have been summoned here to talk about them.
We were merely trying to avert the...
Is there not one man of will among you? What will you do about these vile rumors? Invertebrate. Well, then I will tell you what we will do. We will find out and seek the culprit.
If your Majesty could be more specific.
It has been proven to my satisfaction that the fire was started by a religious cult, the Christiani.
I don't know much about their Majesty, but I'm sure they wouldn't do anything.
Then how fortunate that I am here to educate you, Senator.
But the Christians are
Do
just...
you know what they believe?
Just vague ideas.
They worship a criminal who was executed by the Roman court. They believe that he came back from the dead and he's walking around the earth, a living corpse, if you will. And they have ceremonies where they drink of his blood and they eat of his flesh, but of course it is not his blood and his flesh. It is the blood of the babies that are stolen from our streets. And as an act of revenge, they have burned down our beloved city. And are you prepared to tolerate such blasphemers in our midst? No, they must not be tolerated. They have spread like a plague, and you have done nothing. We will bring their leaders back to Rome, and we will make an example of them. We will stage their executions for our amusement, and the last thing that they will hear will be our laughter and applause. And in their blood it shall be written in the scorched earth that there is only one Rome, there is only one Nero, and there is only one Caesar! Hail Caesar!
In Rome in 64 AD,
a massive and devastating fire rips through the city. Three of the city's 14 regions are destroyed. Only 4 remain completely unscathed. It evidently takes 6 days to put the blaze out. The fire becomes a political nightmare for the emperor of the day, Nero. Public rumors begin to circulate that he actually started it himself. Because everyone knew he wanted to remodel the city, and now, conveniently, much of it has been leveled. Nero's response is for me another major turning point for Christianity. With fingers pointing at him, Nero needs a scapegoat. The Roman historian Tacitus, writing around 50 years later, claims the emperor singled out and blamed the Christians.
In the next few years, according to Tacitus, Nero orders Christians to be crucified, burnt alive, and suffer all sorts of terrible punishments. Nero kills himself just 4 years after the Great Fire of Rome, and while his memory is actively wiped out by his imperial successors, and public buildings like the Colosseum are built over his private park, Nero's accusation against the Christians seems to linger in the Roman political and public consciousness.
Y'all
That
hear
was
me?
like the president and the devil, huh?
Yeah. So we see, you see what Nero did was, he started the fire so that he could, order. This is what we dealing with today is political ploy, order out of chaos. So we see Nero started the fire, had the solution, right? Blame it on the Christians,
Turn
and
that sideways, huh?
okay, and he wanted I wonder if you can see it sideways. I don't know if it's gonna go sideways.
Oh, if it don't. Okay.
Hold on. Oh, it might. Hold on. Let's check this out. All right, here we go. You can see it though?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Nero wanted.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Blow it up that way it's big on the screen when you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But Nero wanted, to build his own city. So, he started the fire. He caused the problem, right? He wanted to be the solution, right? So, as we know, ain't nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like they did it back in Nero times, we seeing it now, right? And we're going to get into it, right? This is political ploy, order out of chaos, right? Start a problem, be the solution for what's the end result, right? The end result for Nero was he wanted his own city called Neronopolis and whatnot. So it was all, a ploy. Anybody want to read the definition? Y'all can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how we do.
All right,
A
definition
cunning
of ploy.
plan. Go ahead. Huh?
You got it.
A cunning plan or action designed to turn a situation to one's own advantage.
Right.
Exactly what he was doing.
Exactly what he was doing, and exactly what we about to expose that these world leaders are doing to get what's the whole plan? What's the end result? What are you guys trying to get out of this? All right, you want to finish it out or?
Okay. This was widely interpreted as a ploy to buy time in order to consolidate his position.
Yeah, even buying time, right? They do things slowly. right? But they gonna get it, right? Slowly but surely. Let's
Right.
see what we got. We got Psalms
It's just
53.
like it's just like when Obama was in office. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But before he got in office, you know, they ploy, they plot was to bring gays and let them be in the marriages, right?
Right.
Mm.
So before he got in office, it was all this rhetoric about gay. You can't be talking about them and all this and that and giving them rights. And as soon as Obama got in there, he made it come to fruition. Bound iniquity by law, just like the
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
scriptures say. Um, that's
And
what
we
I
had
see
that.
was going on.
And we
Now you
had
got
that.
same-sex marriages, you know?
Right.
Hmm.
Exactly. That was the plan from the beginning. And then we had
Yeah,
political ploy. Remember we brought out how they merged the Black Lives Matter with LGBTQ, right? This was the whole end result, man. That's what they wanted.
right.
One-
Right.
One's own agenda, you know? One's own agenda.
Should I use this? This is fine. We use this or
Yeah, it's cool.
all right, cool.
Well, if y'all notice though, Black Lives Matter was started by three lesbian
Yep.
women.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, we brought it out. All right,
And
let me
then they,
see.
on their thing, it said they was their mission was to destroy the nuclear family. You know, destroy the man, woman, and child, and become man, man, and child, or woman, woman, and child. You know what I'm saying? Basically, doing a Hashatan work for 'em.
Mm-hmm. So let's get it. Yo, Shaq, this is the song right here, song 37.
Okay. Psalms 37. Do not fret because of evildoers. Do not be envious of the workers of unrighteousness, for they soon wither like grass and fade like green plants. Trust in Yah and do good. Dwell in the earth and feed on steadfastness, and delight yourself in Yah, and let him give you the desire of your heart. Commit your ways to Yah and trust in him, and he does it. And he shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your right ruling as midday. Rest in Yah and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man doing wicked devices.
Mm-hmm.
Abstain from displeasure and forsake wrath. Do not fret also to do evil. For evildoers are cut off, but those who wait on Yahuwah, they shall inherit the earth. Yet a little while, and the wrong is no more, and you shall look on his place, but it is not. But the meek ones shall inherit the earth, and delight themselves in plenty of peace. The wrong plots against the righteous, and gnashes his teeth at him. Yah laughs at him, for he sees that his day is coming. The wrong have drawn the sword and have bent their bow to cause the poor and needy to fall, to slay those who walk straightly. Their sword does enter into their own heart, and their bows are broken. Better is the little of the righteous one than the riches of many wrongdoers. For the arms of the wrongdoers are broken, but Yahuwah sustains the righteous. Yah knows the days of the perfect, and their inheritance is forever. They are not ashamed in a time of evil, and in days of scarcity of food they are satisfied. But the wrongdoers shall perish, and the enemies of Yah, like the splendor of the meadows, they vanish. Like smoke, they vanish away. The wrongdoer is borrowing and does not repay, but the righteous one shows favor and gives. For his blessed ones inherit the earth, but those cursed by him are cut off. The steps of a man are ordered by Yah, and he delights in his way. Though he falls, he is not cast down, for Yah is his supporting hand. I have been young, and now I am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his seed begging bread. All day long he is showing favor and lending, and his seed is for a blessing. Turn away from evil, and do good, and dwell forever. For Yah loves right ruling, and does not forsake his lovely committed ones. They shall be guarded forever, but the seed of the wrongdoers is cut off. The righteous shall inherit the earth, and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of right ruling. The Torah of his Elohim is in his heart. His steps do not slide. The wrong one is watching for the righteous and is seeking to slay him. Yah does not leave him in his hand, or let him be declared wrong when he is judged. Wait on Yahuwah and guard his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the earth. When the wrongdoers are cut off, you shall see. I have seen the wrongdoer in great power, and spreading himself like a native green tree. Yet he passes away, and see, he was not. And I sought him, but he was not found. Watch the perfect and observe the straight, for the latter end of each is peace. But the transgressor shall be destroyed together. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The latter end of the wrong shall be cut off. But the deliverance of the righteous is from Yah, their strength in time of distress. And Yahuwah does help them and deliver them. He delivers them from the wrongdoers and saved them, because they took refuge in him.
Praise Yah.
All
Right, all praises. So we see, so as we look at these ploys, and we're going to see, ain't nothing new as the sun, right? The wicked has always been plotting against the righteous, right? And to obtain some type of end result. But as we read here, we ain't got nothing to worry about, right? The wicked's going to get cut off. That's why we had to read this psalm right here. So we going to look at this ploy, political ploy, we look at this plan, and we're going to see what it do, man, because we're not ignorant of Satan devices. So we're here to expose, what they got going on in the world.
Hey, if you can, only if you can, like when you put the scripture on the screen, try to turn it sideways. That way it's on the whole screen.
Let me see.
That way, we can
like
read.
That.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
That's how. Yeah, that way we can read it. Yeah.
Was y'all able to read it before? Nah, y'all wasn't able to read it?
I had to make it big on my screen.
Okay.
That way I can see it. But anytime, any video, anything, I just try to put it sideways. Unless it's like a video that you can't, and it's gonna be skinny still.
Gotcha. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. About to get it in. November. Let's do it.
The floodgates are literally open here in the Tucson sector, and there are 100. The floodgates are literally open here in the Tucson sector, and there are 141 different gates along the southern border, and the majority of those are open, and the majority of those are open by the federal government. So we talk about how busy the Tucson sector is, and they do this every single year. So what's the problem? Well, the Tucson sector is known for gotaways, for people trying to evade law enforcement, so they're not generally coming through an open door. Well, now they are, and they're doing it by the hundreds.
Well, we sound like a very serious country. Joining me now, I'm excited about this, Victor Avila. He's a retired ICE agent. He's also running for Congress in Texas's 23rd Congressional District. Now, how many candidates for office do I ever have on this show? Hardly ever, right? But how many times have I said to get involved in primaries? Primaries are why the GOP sucks, because we never show up in primaries. And now we have losers like Gonzalez representing Republicans in Texas. So before we get to Gonzalez and why he's pathetic, let's talk to the expert himself. Victor, first of all, okay, the border is open on purpose. Do I have that right?
You have it 100% correct. This is deliberate. It's been deliberate since day one. And I'm here to tell you the truth of what's happening at the border. It's still happening. That clip you just showed is a disgrace of why would even have to.
So y'all see, like what we showing, y'all see y'all know what's going on right now with ICE and all that, keeping them in mind, the chaos that's going on with immigration. So the video started off by letting you know, hey, the floodgates is open, they letting them in.
Done purposely. Yeah, it's an agenda behind that.
Right. They were letting the people in. You know, anybody, hey brothers, feel free to, we conversating today. But yeah, they let them they let them in.
Build the wall if we're going to open the gates to it. This is lawlessness is what it is, Jesse, at the southern border from Arizona, California, and in Texas where I'm at. I just got back from Eagle Pass, Texas.
Oh yeah, fair use. I gotta remember to say that, Shaq. Fair use for educational purposes. Oh,
And it's the same story. You see buoys on the river, you see the razor and all the stuff around the border. It doesn't matter. They're coming around. They're still coming in. In El Paso, Texas, 6,000 a day are coming into this country allowed illegally by this administration. They're the number one aiders and abettors through the help of a bunch of NGOs facilitating their transportation into the interior of our country.
Victor, you know what? We're going to circle back to the NGOs in a minute, because this is a part of this a lot of people don't fully grasp, but you're retired ICE, I'm not. From the outside looking in, this sure appears to me to be intentional. I don't see how I could take it any other way, that they want the country flooded with illegal immigrants. But you were in the belly of the beast. Is that how you take it?
Absolutely, and for several reasons. At first it was, could it be just the votes? They want, more Democrat votes, and sure, that's still possibly the possibility. But here, I think it's more sinister than that, and I think it's deliberate in the fact that they want more representation. Remember, this administration, the Biden administration, one of the first things they did when they hit the White House is undo the rules of counting of the census, and they want illegal aliens counted. And you and I know that what that means: more people to be counted, more representations in Congress. So they'll always have control, at least of the House. And so this is another thing that it goes deeper than that. It's not just this, it's politics, but I think, in my heart, I think they're fundamentally changing the fabric of our country as we know it.
Okay, now before we get to your race and why you're running, speak about the NGOs. People don't understand how this works. They don't make the connection. Wait a minute, there's non-government groups aiding illegal immigration. How's that legal? Why is this happening? Can you explain it?
It's a moneymaker, Jesse. These non-governmental organizations, a lot of different groups, some bigger than others, something like names like Catholic Charities, Endeavors, are making billions, that's with a B, of our money, our taxpayer money, State Department money, Soros-funded groups receiving money to only one thing and one purpose, is to aid and abet the entry of illegal aliens into our country. They are located in Central America, down in the Darien Gap in South America, and of course on the Mexico border and on our side of the border as well. And these are the people that have logistically organized the movement of the people. It's a great endeavor, and they have taken it to where they will put them in these facilities. Border Patrol processes them. These are the ones that want to come up, by the way, and turn themselves into Border Patrol. They process them, put them on buses, put them in facilities, put them on airplanes, and here you go. Distributed everywhere in our country. And it's the NGO that is doing it. By the way, the help of the United Nations as well. Heavy presence in Mexico, Central America, and South America as well. This is where our money is going. Do you agree with that? Do you want our money to be used to facilitate the entry of illegal aliens? And when I say this, I say very frankly, I'm all for legal immigration. I want people to come to this country the right way. What you're seeing right now is completely illegal. Even when they turn themselves into Border Patrol, these processes of issuing paroles, of issuing work permits, and bringing them through the CBP-1 app and process, all that is completely illegal. And these individuals are going to find themselves without any status in 2024. They're thinking that they have some kind of right to be in this country, and they don't. mostly because they didn't do it the right way. Second of all, they haven't been vetted. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they want. Chinese nationals, Middle Easterners, Africans, forget the Mexicans and Central Americans. I'm talking about 150 different countries of people those countries sending their people into our country, but we don't know what the intention they want. Do they just want to be taken care of by our taxpayers? Or is there more to it, to that, especially when you talk about the Chinese nationals?
Crying children abandoned at the border by smugglers, migrants who died trying to make the journey, others injured, stranded, left to fend for themselves in these really harsh conditions. And now this terrifying new development, 2 Border Patrol agents exchanging gunfire with suspected cartel members along the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. The agents, fortunately, were not injured, but the FBI is investigating this incident. Let's discuss all of this with former acting ICE Director Tom Homan. Tom, the border crisis created by the Biden administration, it just keeps getting worse. And I don't say this lightly or make a joke here, but it almost sounds like the Wild West down there.
No, it's going to get worse. I mean, it's going to get worse. When Title 42 ends, which you're getting real close to doing, when the Title 42 ends, and all single adults are going to be rushing that border and trying to get in the United States. And you know, if you look at past data from the Border Patrol, on average, every year, about 20 to 23% of all illegal alien border crossers are convicted criminals. So there's going to be more criminals, more drugs, more people come across the border. The worst is yet to come. We look at the wall, and there were many people in this country that were for the wall. They think that walls help, that they deter this kind of activity. $2 billion still sitting there in a bank waiting to finish the wall, and President Biden won't allow it to happen. But it's another example that President Biden, this administration, doesn't want to secure the border. Look, they're bragging right now on how quick they can release people so there's no overcrowding Border Patrol facilities. They call that a win. We're releasing people quicker, faster, which is just going to blow up in their face, because that's just going to entice more people to come, but they think they're not being detained very long, just being released in the United States at taxpayer expense, mind you. Right. And look, all the Biden administration needs to do is talk to a Border Patrol agent. Look at the data. Walls work. Every place they built a wall, illegal immigrations went down, illegal drug flow went down. Every place, 100% of the time. So if they really want to secure the border and live up to what they say they want to secure the border, then a border wall makes sense. Wow. But I bet you right now the Secretary has never asked a single Border Patrol agent about the wall, because they simply don't want to do it, because they call that Trump's wall. Right. And walls do work if that's your objective, to deter people from trying to illegally cross the border and to deter all this activity. But there is a school of thought out there saying the reason that Kamala Harris has not taken any action to do anything about this is because the agenda, the administration has a very specific, you know, sort of agenda item here. And the more that they...
It's that ploy, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's the agenda. That's the agenda.
Right. We're gonna get this agenda.
Happen, the better it is for the narrative and the agenda that they're trying to push. And that comes to changing voting demographics.
Absolutely, because you got to remember that what also the Biden administration done, they overturned the Trump census rule, which means all these thousands of people being released, they will be counted in the next census. They'll go to sanctuary cities to be counted, which means more seats in the House for the Democrats, which leads to electoral college, which leads to perpetual power. And if they get amnesty, you know, they eventually become citizens. The Democrats are playing a long game here, and they look at all these people as future Democratic voters. They have no intention to secure the border. This is an open borders agenda. This is their plan. This is their design. Kamala Harris is going to secure this border. Remember, she supports sanctuary cities. She compared ICE agents to KKK. She said Border Patrol agents were inhumane to those crossing the border. She wrote legislation as a senator to reward those who cross the border illegally. She has no intention, just like the president and just like the secretary, to secure our border. If they want to secure the border, first move, build a wall. Where's everybody crossing right now? Where there's not a wall.
I want to talk to you about some of the numbers so our viewers can have a sense of what's happening here. 111,000 single adult migrants were taken into custody in April. It was the highest total that we've seen in more than a decade. And I always underscore when I'm communicating that point to people that those are the migrants we caught, not the ones who got across that were not apprehended by the system. So you have to realize the magnitude here.
Yeah, the Border Patrol intelligence bulletins clearly say between 1,000 and 1,500 escape apprehension every day.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we'd be worried about. The families and the children that turn themselves over to Border Patrol, they want to be caught. They turn themselves over to Border Patrol. But the cartels will push large family groups to tie the Border Patrol resources up so the cartels can move the bad people, the ones that don't want to get arrested, to the unguarded portions. That's where your fentanyl comes from. Remember, during the last family crisis, over 62,000 Americans died from fentanyl overdoses that came across that border. The cartels control that border. They use the humanitarian crisis to create a national security crisis.
It's a huge problem, and for the states that share that border, they're looking for, what could have been a real happy summer as we got out of the pandemic. It could
everything to come here because President Biden told us to come, and now we can't return because we are targets for leaving. So they feel stuck in limbo. They're not processed. If they're not processed, they can't leave the busiest sector right now, which is El Paso.
And Biden has had 4.3 million illegal aliens coming to that southern border since he became president. 16,000 pounds of fentanyl was apprehended last year. That's enough to kill.
Yo, that's crazy because y'all remember when all those people was dying of fentanyl overdoses and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, they was bringing that fentanyl in. I feel like, part of their depopulation scheme, because this was during a time when they was highly on that depopulation. So I thought that was, and the dude in the last video, like we just watched, he was talking about how they was bringing fentanyl and stuff and like that over the border, man.
Yeah, so all they worried about was more congressional seats then. You know what I mean? But at the same time, depopulating possibly, you know what I'm saying? Because during that time, you had a lot of fentanyl overdoses in a lot of major cities.
Right, yeah. I remember that, bro. They was finding fentanyl in like crazy stuff, like tobacco and everything. It was crazy. Let's get it.
3.3 billion people. The cartels have turned human trafficking into a $13 billion a year business. The president and the vice president should meet me in Eagle Pass and see what is happening there at Del Rio.
At the southern border, among the topics that President Biden addressed today in his first formal press conference since taking office. The president says policies under the previous administration are forcing his team to play catch up on a number of key issues. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenur has more.
I'd like to think it's because I'm a nice guy, but it's not.
President Joe Biden stresses his administration is not to blame for the recent surge of migrants, many unaccompanied minors, at the U.S. southern border.
It's because of what's happened every year.
The president notes a similar surge occurred in 2019 during the Trump administration.
Does anybody suggest that there was a 31% increase under Trump because he was a nice guy and he was doing good things at the border? That's not the reason they're coming.
On his first day in office, Biden signed executive orders undoing Trump's immigration policies.
Rolling back the policies of separating children from their mothers. I make no apology for that.
The president says he's now trying to rebuild the system, including making more beds available for minors and verifying if traffickers or family members are responsible for them.
It's going to take time.
But Republicans argue the solution is simple. They say President Biden should reinstate the Trump-era policies, like remain in Mexico and the border wall.
He inherited the most secure border that we've had in my lifetime.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy will visit the border Friday and calls on the president to take a more hardline approach.
He's saying, don't come, don't come, don't come. But I think the new administration believes in open borders.
The president says he has yet to visit the border because he, quote, doesn't want to become the issue. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Babylon fall. We can see the plays, we can see the fall, we can see the rise. We can see the truth, we know we the Jews, we can see the lies. Won't let us go, don't let us know, we can see the prize. Trusting in your words, in your mighty hand, one more time. 1 woe, 2 woes, 3 woes. Choose life, don't lose your soul.
I always thought I always thought when they let all them people in, you know how the scriptures say that from the midst of Babylon, they gonna come. They already in your borders,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Right. I think we dealt with that in that Jeremiah 51, I believe.
We sure
Yeah.
did. If brothers got scriptures, let me know. But yeah, so y'all see they got them open borders. They open up the borders out, and then y'all see the chaos we in now. But y'all see what it is.
Yeah, you know what the crazy thing is, right? You see Biden opening the borders, Trump trying to close the borders, but everybody got their own hidden agenda. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
a
and
ploy. Everybody
and it's
got their
got
own thing.
they got both sides fighting against each other because of it, right? They need that chaos.
Yeah.
But exactly, but they tell you, but like we know is what one bird, two wings, one bird, right? Out they working
Right.
together.
So man, so it make you wonder. So what's this agenda going on by this president now? Right?
Exactly. That's why we showed that Nero, right? Ain't nothing new under the sun. These people got an agenda. And
Man, I got
we're going as we keep going with this ploy, we're gonna expose that agenda. Cause that
I
immigration
got
was a big the immigration was bigger than what we think it was. And even as I was doing this ploy, I realized that. And we're going to get that. You know what I'm saying? But that immigration is going to lead up to something bigger, man. Yeah, man, bro, it's a lot. It's a
man,
lot.
you know what I think?
What's that up?
I think this dude pulling all this stuff now. He got ICE in here trying to get all the illegal immigrants out and everything. I think his agenda is because when it's time for his term to end, he gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to push to stay. Like, look at so much I did. Look at all I've done and everything. The tariffs, and now you trying to give people checks saying the tariffs making so much money that he can give people money. I think he
Right.
gonna try to stay in office, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they was
Woo!
saying that he was going for another term and it ain't even supposed to happen. They had to get rid of the Constitution if he did that.
Yeah,
But the only
he
You
got
know?
a quick solution to getting rid of the Constitution is martial law. With martial law, the
And
Constitution is null and void, bro.
come on now. And
Real
we
talk.
seeing it, right? We seeing that militaries in the cities, right? Up.
yeah.
Yeah.
They going to Charlotte and New Orleans next.
I like how you pointed that out because this immigration, which we're gonna get into in the next video, that's what ended up helping bring these militaries and stuff like that into the city. So this could have been also another ploy of keeping Trump in office and moving in. That's crazy, y'all. You just bought
Listen.
wow,
One thing is for sure, brothers, is they
wow,
try to put it in our face like they oppose each other. This whole
right,
Mm-hmm.
system like is a scam, family, from the
facts.
beginning
Absolutely.
to the end. They
Man,
they
they
all sit together and run
yeah.
and work this stuff against the people, man.
Right.
Honestly,
Hmm.
all you got to look at, family, look at the trillions of dollars every year, no matter who was in office, from Clinton to the Bushes to all the way back to Reagan and on. Look at how much money this country sends out abroad.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
It ain't
Ooh.
1 year, it's every year. It's trillions,
right.
trillions of dollars while we all sitting here struggling ourselves, man, to make
We
Mm-hmm.
ends meet
struggling.
to feed our
We
families.
Yeah, they was doing
we
that to
str-
Ukraine, sending
we
Ukraine a
str-
whole bunch of money.
Every year
hmm
this is done. No matter if it's
Yeah.
a Republican or a Democrat in office, every single year this stuff is done, man. Every year.
And
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
the thing about it, like they like send that money to them other countries, but over here, what they trying to do to us? They trying to kill us. They trying to kill
Yeah.
us with
Exactly.
the air, with the water, with the
The
food.
food, the
Everywhere you
food.
go,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and then like we in America, more people is locked up than dang near the whole world. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
how you gonna treat your citizens like this, but then just send money everywhere else? You
You
know,
know why, Root? Because they thinking they can rebuild, repopulate, just like Nero
Right.
had in his mind. The same exact reason. They thinking they can rebuild and repopulate for their own purposes.
It's but it's their system though. You know what I'm talking about? That's why we don't get
Yeah.
caught in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go back to a piece I leave with you. You know what I'm saying? We can't be concerned with that. They system. It's their system, you know.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with us, really, realistically. You know what I'm talking about? That brings us back to we
That
understand
shit
that we
gonna
still
be
in
quiet.
captivity. Right, right. We still in captivity. You feel me? Like we shouldn't be expecting, this, that, and the other. You feel me? Straight up.
That's true.
We know with that Gentile system, right? They how they used to like, oh, we were slaves, but you were slaves to your own people, right? You know what I'm
Right.
talking about? You
Yeah.
ain't never been slaves to another nation, right? So
Mm.
they'll do their own people like that quick. You feel me?
For
They'll
sure.
enslave people, you feel me? And while you in captivity, it is what it is, man.
Hey, that's the spirit. I'll let you finish speaking, Shad, because I always say, like in America, no, this America alone is an experiment, right? Because first of all, ain't nobody, the natural people here has been destroyed, or you know what I mean, been messed up. So the people that took over this land are not natural. Ain't nothing natural here. The slaves brought here, the people, like everybody's not natural. But you go to like other countries, they got kings, they got queens, they've been established. But here we're not. So a lot of the white people, black people, the fact that we call each other white and black people shows that we're disconnected from culture and the world in general. So they treat us as such. You know what I'm
If you
saying?
want to know what happened, if you want to know what happened to America before them people got here, just look at what happened in Israel till them people got over there. Same thing.
Right.
Get
Wow.
out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push them out. Same thing. No difference.
And like Shag just mentioned, peace I leave with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in other words, be not of this world. So you go Romans, I'm gonna hit that Romans 12:2 real quick.
I'm
And
put
be
it
not
up.
conformed to this world,
You
but
got
ye
it.
transformed by renewing of your
Of your
mind,
mind.
that ye may
Right.
prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim.
Praise.
So everything they doing is not of his will, man.
Right.
Not of
Mm-hmm.
his will. Not saying that these things got to happen, but it still is not of his will.
Mm-hmm.
Right
on. All praise, huh? And we got Proverbs 12. We're gonna read this whole chapter. Anybody?
I got you.
Let's do it.
Whosoever loves knowledge, but
Oh,
he who
discipline.
hates,
We got
who
start from the top.
okay, who loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. The good obtains favor from Yahuwah, but the man of the wicked devices he declares wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the man is not established by wrongness, but the root of the righteousness shall not be moved.
It say the man of wicked devices, right? When we was reading that second Esdras a couple of weeks, then it say a couple of weeks ago, it say the Most High gonna come destroy the heathen and his wicked inventions, right?
Right up. Yep.
A capable wife is the crown of her husband, but one causing shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right ruling. The counsels of the wrong are deceit.
There we go. That's what we dealing with. The counsel of the wrong. Or deceit, right? You got Biden over here acting playing dumb. Ain't nothing wrong at the borders. This is good for us. You know what I'm saying?
And look how I say the counsels of the wrong.
I
The
deceit.
counsel of the wrong are deceit, man.
That you might as well replace that with ploy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it also goes like you say, who you counseling with too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say the Most High is our counsel, our God, right?
Right. Right. So that goes back to the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Right, they dealing with the devil. You remember what Satan told Mashiach? I'll give you all these kingdoms, so we know who's running the world. So this is why these people is moving how they moving. Right, the counsel of the wrong are deceit.
And the ears of both sides.
You're gonna hit that more on the money by bringing that out that Satan told him, "I give you all these kingdoms," so we know who running these kingdoms.
Right up.
And like the Messiah said, my kingdom is not of this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this world ain't got nothing to do with us. But we got to be the same, have that same mindset. Like, now this y'all kingdom. This is what y'all doing, y'all kingdom.
Right. That's why in the book of Hebrews it call us aliens out here, right?
Right.
You know I gotta get a scripture real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know I gotta. I
So
must
all
be
praises,
allowed.
man. Why
I
wouldn't this be a
must be
ploy?
allowed to get this one. I love. It's one of my favorite scriptures too, right here. I love this one. I know in
Okay.
due time. What's it? Over that's worthy. Just hit that side right. It should pop up. Yeah, here we go. I love this one. Hold on. Let's see what 3 say. Let's just hit a little bit of it. We must be allowed to hit a little. Want me to read it out? Oh, you got it, Adam.
Go ahead and hit it.
All right. A wise judge will instruct his people.
Hey, can you
And the
turn it
government.
sideways?
Oh yeah, I got you. You right. A
Yeah, there
wise
we go.
judge. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And this is why I
That's
really
it
wanted
right
to.
there. Huh?
Yeah, what we
That's it
saying.
right there. Go back up. An unwise king destroys his people.
Right,
There you go, right there. That's what we got here in America.
right. Unwise kings, right up?
Right.
And that's what you started with Nero, right? Unwise king, right?
Unwise king, right up? Yeah, straight up. Hit that. But I love this 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Most High, right? And that's why we started off in that Psalm 37. Don't worry about the wicked plan, right? Put your trust in the Most High. He got you. At the end of the day, you got life. The wicked's
Right.
going to get cut off, right?
Right.
The power of the earth is in the hand of the Most High. All praise, right? So whatever we Most High already know the end from the beginning, man. That goes back to just putting your trust in the Most. Yes, the wicked rule the earth, but the power, what do you say? Not a leaf fall right out without the Most High giving that command.
Mm-hmm.
And in due time, He will set over it one that is profitable. Praise
The
God. We know.
government shall
Go ahead,
the government shall be on his shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was about to say we just dealing with that
Yeah.
1,000-year reign and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look
in
at
due
that promise.
time, He will set over it one that is profitable.
At due time.
In due time, right? Get back to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, hold on. You remember what verse we was at?
I think we got
6, I believe.
Yeah, 6 right here. Yep. Let's do
yep.
it.
The words of the wrong are lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the straight delivers them. The
Lie in
wrong.
wait for blood. Lie in wait for blood. That's the words of the wrong. Let's set them up. That's basically said. That's what that's
Right.
saying. Let's
In
set
other
them up.
words, right? In other words, the wrong are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands.
And that's how we started off, right out in that Psalm 37. They're gonna get cut off.
Hey,
Put your trust
they're
in the
no
Most
more.
High.
You just
Come
said
on
that,
now.
right? In due time, right?
Come on now.
A man is praised according to his wisdom, but the perverted of heart becomes despised. Better to be lightly esteemed and have a servant than the highly esteemed who lacks bread. The righteous regards the life of his beast, but the compassion of the wrong is cruelty.
Hold on. Better to be lightly esteemed and have a servant than the highly esteemed who lacks bread. That, I don't know. I'll break that down. I feel like that means something, but I don't get it.
Which verse?
9.
better to be lightly esteemed and have a servant
And
than
highly esteemed
highly
who lack
esteemed
bread.
who lacks bread. Right. What is that bread? That
That's
bread he talking about is that word, right?
right.
Okay.
That word of
Okay.
life,
Talk
right?
about it out.
Mhm.
You know, you'd rather be lightly esteemed and have a servant than to be highly esteemed and you ain't got no bread, you ain't got no wisdom. You ain't got no
Right.
Mm.
wisdom to go with nothing. Only thing you
Come
know how to
on.
do is get money. That's
Mm.
all you know how to do. You know what I'm
And, and
saying?
and you like that bread of life, like you know what I mean. The word, right? Man should not live by bread
Yeah.
alone, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
We just talked about those who was highly esteemed when we was talking about how people see somebody like a Michael Jackson and just fall out and faint. You know what I'm talking about? These people are highly esteemed. You know what I'm talking about in this world. But like I said,
Mm.
they lack bread, right?
Like bread.
They
They
like
lack
that
Exactly.
daily.
bread.
They like that daily bread that Mashiach told us to ask for when we pray to the Most High, right?
Mm.
And
And
give
And
then
Mashiach
if
bread.
and think about being lightly esteemed.
I like
Lightly
that.
esteemed is just like Yamel a good dude. Instead of being like, man, you see Yamel? Highly praising him. Yamel, man, he the man. He the man. You know, that's how
Mm-hmm.
you know, basketball, Michael Jordan, all this, but you rather be like, Yamel a good dude. And keep it going. You lightly esteemed. You ain't got
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm.
this and that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay. Right. Right. I like how brought up damn what you said just now, Shaq. About how like them pastors, right? They lightly esteemed, but they lack the knowledge of the Most High, and that means everything, right? Because we see the
They
people,
highly esteemed.
Hmm?
right?
The
But
pastors is
Mm-hmm.
they lack that word, and this is why they be falling for, like how we bringing out political ploy. A lot of them can't see the ploy because they lack the word, truly lack the word. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think all of them truly lack the word. You
Right.
know, you have never seen any one of them in this system lead by the word, not one.
Right.
And then they end up getting caught up in these plots and these devices of the devil when we're not supposed to be ignorant of his devices.
So,
So
And
yeah, all
you
praise.
know, you just saw that woman calling all these churches to ask them, can they get bread? I mean, get a baby some milk, and all of them damn near turned it down, except for like 9 churches out of like maybe 50.
Wow.
mm,
And the ones that gave was, you know, in our communities, black communities, and then like even Muslim churches gave was like, yeah,
mm,
where you at? You know, they was them white big mega white church. They like, we ain't got nothing like
Mm.
that here. You know what I'm saying?
Wick. Yeah,
Um,
told her to go to Wick to get the baby formula.
wow.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
See, they got their own agenda
yeah,
going on.
that's
Wow.
wicked,
yeah,
right? That just show you that what they that just shows you what they all about, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. And
That's
then
wicked, bro.
and
That's
then
wicked, bro.
another thing,
Mm.
like I was saying that Candace Owens, she been exposing that them Netanyahu and them over there. And
Uh-huh.
so, and then a lot of them pastors coming out after her. And come to find out, they've been getting paid to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Getting paid to
Crazy.
come after her?
Yeah, getting paid to come after her, and their congregations and all that. They getting
Mm.
like an unknown, what was it, some kind of money
Donations.
from a donation or oh, I can't think of what I forgot what they said, but I saw it just yesterday or the other day.
So he like
You
basically
know,
got like a hit out on her.
they got a hit out on her, or because she's going against them.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, it seemed like Netanyahu the one ruling everything. So, you go against him, you in trouble.
Mm. Yo,
Mm.
like we read earlier, it said the unwise king destroy his people. This 10 says, but the compassion of the wrong is cruelty. That's just show you right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. The compassion of the wrong is cruelty. because they lack compassion. What compassion do you see
Exactly.
them showing?
None.
Right.
Come on, none.
It's
None.
just
None.
they wouldn't even them churches with them preachers, they wasn't showing no compassion toward the baby. Nah, you give me your money. That's cruelty. You pay
AI,
me.
let me tell you, they sat here, they done raised up everything, the rent, everything except for your pay. And right now, they out here trying to make homeless illegal. Being homeless illegal. No
Yeah,
compassion.
I don't think they're gonna be ever able to do that. You know, it's just a dumb, stupid topic. They ain't
Nah,
gonna
But
for
you
never
see
be
sure
able
they
to
how
do
will.
that.
they lack compassion.
For
You
sure
see
they
their heart.
will. For sure they
Yeah,
will. Yeah, they
you
You
think
definitely
got,
will
so?
be able to
but
It's
do that.
definitely lacking compassion. But what I mean is, where the homeless gonna go? Because it's gonna forever be
Jail,
homeless out
They
there.
gonna fill the
jail,
jailhouses with them. Yeah, that's exactly what they gonna
uh-huh.
do. That's why they're making it illegal.
but
That's
look at the
So
sad,
they
bigger
man.
can fill the
look at
jailhouses with
look at the bigger picture. This is all a setup for the mark of the beast.
Come
them. For
on,
sure
AI,
it is.
yeah.
For sure it
Come
is.
on.
If you can't pay your mortgage, where you think we gonna be going? If we can't pay our stuff to the street, and if you
Exactly.
caught on the street, and if you caught on the street, you going you going through this system, and these homeless people, all they got to do is take the mark of the beast, and they cool. Oh, we can eat now. You can have their
Mm-hmm.
house. You know what
Oh
I'm
man.
saying? Let's
Especially because
reverse
they
it.
don't have no understanding either. Just like it just said, you know, they highly esteemed. You ought to be lightly esteemed with and the servant they be highly esteemed and like bread. So the
Right.
ones who's highly esteemed, you know, they're
They don't
not
got
giving the
that.
homeless the bread, the truth, the understanding, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't have it. So of course they're
Fact.
gonna take it quickly. Like, yo, get over here, let's eat. I get to eat. I don't care about no market, this and that on me. I've been out here in the streets anyway all these years.
All
For the
right.
ones who
Hey,
don't know.
y'all brothers going too hard.
Right.
Go ahead, hit that 11. Hit that 11, man. Hit that 11.
All right,
Y'all
11.
almost pushing ahead. Y'all almost pushing ahead. We gotta expose the ploy. Let's do it.
And the transgression of the lips and evil snare.
I think we in 11, right? 11.
That's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He who tills his land is satisfied with bread, but he who pursues vanities is lacking heart.
Mm.
Whew. Whew.
That's how we gotta
Wow.
hey, we gotta plant some gardens.
Definitely, man. They gotta hit. But he who pursues vanities is lacking heart. Right?
Right.
Look at this
No
whole
purpose.
world.
Vanity,
It's
right?
nothing.
We talked
Yeah.
about that.
So,
Yeah.
for
Every,
sure.
every single rap song you listen to promoting it. So now we see that.
Nothing but vanity.
So now we
Yeah.
see every single rapper is lacking heart, then, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ride down the street looking at that double cheeseburger with bacon on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Better
about
go till that land.
Adam gotta
Huh?
get. I'm talking about bacon right now. Adam having memories, flashbacks.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, look. And it
Yeah.
says, he who pursues vanities is lacking heart. You know, they ain't gonna have no faith in that day,
Nah.
They ain't gonna
That
have no.
too.
They ain't gonna have no heart. They ain't gonna have. They
They
all they
have,
care about is
brother, they
paying
have no
bills.
faith and no heart now, brother.
Come on,
No.
now.
That, well, like
I
Shaq
agree.
just said, look at all the rappers, man. That's all they promote is vanity.
Right.
Nothing
Yeah.
but.
Nothing but.
And
Until
just
you
think about how that scripture is just there like that. He who tills his land is satisfied with bread. You know, you till your land, that means everything, right?
right,
You
and
don't
Mm-hmm.
have to go out there
Uh-huh.
pursuing nothing. You ain't got to go out there pursuing
it ain't even necessarily
vanity.
talking about physically tilling your land. It's talking about even if you go to work at 9 to 5 and you barely making it, but you making it, right? You satisfied with your
Yeah.
bread, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
you satisfied. Yeah, you till you taking care of home. That's
Pay my
basically
bills.
taking care of home. It says
Yep.
tills his land. He taking care of his stuff, and he not worried about what's going on out there in the world.
Right,
Because the ones out there in the world is pursuing vanities.
right.
Mm.
The ones telling you, hey, I gotta still go get it on this Sabbath day, right?
Right,
Lacking heart
right,
right
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Come on.
That's real talk,
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, I like how you said that.
Next verse
Wow.
look like it go right with it.
The wrong shall covet the catch of evildoers, but the
Yeah,
root of the righteous yields fruit.
man. Just go back up to that top one just a little bit, yeah, man. But he who pursues vanities is lacking heart. Then the wrong
Mhm.
shall covet the catch of evildoers. Everything them evil people want. I mean, pursuing vanities is everything that them they coveting.
Right.
I gotta go get that nice chain
You
that
don't get caught up in the trap, You don't get caught up in
yeah,
the trap.
caught
That's
up
what they
in the
call it, the
trap.
trap. You get caught
Right.
up in the trap.
Catch of evildoers. They want
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
They
Hey,
want
they
Want
want you
that.
to die young. They want you to die young. They want you in the prisons.
And like you say, the catch of the evildoers, that's again, the evildoers, they pursuing the vanities and obtaining it, right? So the evildoers, they might obtain that Rolls Royce and all these fancy things, right? And the wrong ones, they covet it. They seem like, I want that too. You feel me? I
Mm-hmm.
want that too.
Yeah.
Yep. They on the bigger stage. This country got this. I want that too. I want the resources. And the transgression of the lips is an evil
Oh,
snare.
we had to finish that 12,
I did. I hit
Okay.
it again though. Let me hit it again.
Yeah, hit it again now.
The wrong shall covet the catch of evildoers, but the root of the righteous yields fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And the transgression of the lips is an evil snare, but the righteous gets out of distress.
Right.
I just wanted to point out that verse up one more where it says, "But the root of the righteous yields fruit." It go right back up to that verse before because they go right together. When you tilling your land, you
Right.
yielding
Yep.
fruit.
Yep. You're satisfied. You're satisfied.
Right.
You know. 14, right?
14. From the fruit of his mouth, one is filled with good, and the work of a man's hands is given back to him.
There you go.
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he who listens to advice is wise.
Right.
A fool's wrath is known at once, but a clever one covers shame. He who speaks truth declares righteousness, but a false witness deceit.
Right. And that's what we dealing with. A whole bunch of the false witnesses and deceit. Go ahead,
Yep. Rash
They ain't
speaking is like piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is healing. The lip of truth is established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. It's
So
true.
that's why all them books that they be putting out that don't measure up to nothing. You know what I'm talking about? It lasts for a moment,
Wow.
right? But the lip of truth is established forever. That's why the Most High word don't go nowhere, right?
Forever.
Right.
Right.
Even though when they
Especially
talk, go ahead.
no, just like if you hear a lying word from a pastor, right? That truth gonna always be there.
Right.
And once you learn that truth, you're gonna put away that lie, depending
Uh-huh.
on who you is. Like I said, but a lying tongue is but for a moment.
Come on now. Can I say? It says, the lip of truth is established forever. We just read the scripture in due time. He will set
In
one
due
over that's
time.
profitable,
Uh-huh.
right? Hey, his kingdom's forever, right? Should not have no end, right?
Right.
Right.
And then when you talk about that one, that's gonna be placed in due time, what was coming out his lips when he was speaking to the people?
Truth.
He said his word ain't never
Truth.
gonna pass away.
Never gonna
Right.
come
And
back going out.
go back up to 18. Go back up to 18. 17.
17.
All right, maybe 16. Yeah, there we go. A fool's wrath is known at once. Well, look, but a clever one covers shame. You clever, you wise, right? And you go back down to that rash speaking is like a piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is healing. Hey, but a lying tongue is only for a moment, but the lip of truth is established forever. But you know, that covers shame, man. Truth covers shame.
You know what that made me think of? Where it says, "But a clever one's shame," was when we talked about how you gonna cover the swords. Remember that, Yahuda?
What's that?
Y'all know what I'm talking about? Where y'all said that, like, you know, you'll cover up somebody's like swords, like as a good deed or something like that. We talked about that before. Like, you see somebody with swords,
Oh
like a
yeah,
homie. Yeah.
yeah. We was talking about that in the Who Was Your Neighbor?
Who
Talking
was your
about
neighbor?
when he saw the one on the side and the Levite passed him by, and the Hebrew passed him by, but the Samaritan went over there and bandaged him up.
Right. But a clever one covers shame. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like when he said like a clever one covers shame, right? Say like you did something, you know you did it, and you just go on and say, yeah, I did it, I messed up.
Right.
Before they can
Okay.
be like, oh, look what you done did. You know, you should be ashamed of yourself. Nah, I messed up. I'm clever at it. So I just come out and say what I did and say I messed up
Okay.
instead of letting them
Okay.
come out and shame me. Yeah, yeah. I used to wear that 6-pointed Jewish star instead of somebody come out. Nigga used to be in one of them camps wearing them 6-point stars and all that. You know, just come out and say it. Yeah, I did that in ignorance. I never did. I might have.
Okay, I looked at that wrong.
There we go.
No, not really. I just bring another perspective on it.
I got you.
You ain't wrong.
Hey, so did you wear the star or not? That's what we
I
want.
knew it was coming.
No, I did not. I didn't. You ain't nothing out there with me with no star on.
Okay.
Back in the day, though, it used to represent being a gangster. Back in the day, maybe, but not.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the
Not
day,
coming
you was
into
big
this.
six, nigga.
I was gonna let I cover his own shame right there. I was
Cover his own shame. Let him cover his own shame.
I don't know. I think he had a different type of 6-star.
I think when I first met him, he gonna talk about what's up, folks. Well, I don't
Oh man.
Hey, look who's talking. Look who's talking over there.
Adam?
I know Jermaine ain't talking.
Hey, you
He
know
still
what
be
though?
up in here, Joe, hey Joe.
Hey, but I still say that, but it's just a Chicago slang. But I would say this: all praises that we can all look at that like that's completely nonsense now because it was.
Yeah, man.
For sure, brother.
Man,
For sure.
you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Hey, big man looked like he hung some people off the roof by their feet.
Man, brother.
Everybody
I ain't gonna
angles like,
lie, man.
nigga, I'm
We
gonna
was
drop
pistol
you.
toting and all type of madness behind that madness, bro.
Man.
Real talk.
Say I had them chains coming out that pocket. Yeah.
Nigga, I was going to Sunday church with the folk.
Oh man.
Ain't up.
Man.
Oh man. Go ahead. I hit that 20.
Deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil.
Okay. All right. Now we're dealing with the political ploy, right? Order out of chaos.
Hey.
Deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil, but counsels of peace have joy. No harm befalls the righteous, but the wrong shall be filled with evil. Lying lips are an abomination to Elohim, but those who deal truly are his delight.
Right.
A clever man is concealing knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims folly.
Hey man, let's go back to them abominable lips. You know what I'm saying? Because brothers Lion lips, you feel me? They got lion lips on the bottom.
I know,
on top. You know what I'm talking about?
Abomination to y'all.
Don't forget that. It's an abomination.
Hey, don't forget that last part. Those who deal truly. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those who
It
deal
says,
truly.
It's the light.
All right, it's the light. Remember that, Doc?
Yes,
You gotta deal truly, Doc.
Right on.
At 23, a clever man is concealing knowledge. Like I said, the righteous going to be, quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Peace.
That's
Peace
what
I
it's
leave
talking
with you.
about. That's what it's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The heart of fools proclaims folly.
Mm.
The hand of the hard worker rules, but the lazy is put to compulsory labor. Anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes him glad. The righteous is a guide to his neighbor, but the way of the wrong leads them astray.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Right.
Just thinking about this, talking to your neighbor, they might be having problems, and you tell them to go sin, right?
Mm.
Or is you telling him to, nah, don't do that, man. Be righteous about it,
Yeah.
because you having problems, and I like, hey, nah, I can't tell you to do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. Deceitful lips, you know what I'm saying? They despise folliness, so somebody else gonna lead them astray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody
Man,
else gonna lead them astray.
yeah,
I remember,
man, they
I
did
remember,
this to
I
you.
remember my nephew called me one time. He like, somebody that stole something from me. He said, like, I wanted to call you on cause like I know, somebody else told me I need to go be doing this and that, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, this your cousin that did it. You just cut them off. That's all you got to do is cut them off. You ain't got to do nothing to them. That way, you ain't got family feuds going on here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said, like, yeah, I figured I'd call you because, listening to somebody else gonna have me going over there whooping this dude. You know what I'm saying?
All praises, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It depends on how. Like we were just talking earlier, man. About the dog situation.
Yeah.
Man. Let's go. Go ahead, though.
Yep. But the way of the wrong leads them astray. The lazy one has no game to roast, but the hard worker prizes his possessions. And the way of righteousness is life, and it is the pathway there is no death. And in the pathway there is no death.
No death, huh? Right?
You knocking that narrow path, ain't no death. You know what I'm talking about at the end.
Ain't no death, huh? Right? Hey, even if you get your head knocked off by this wicked kingdom, still ain't no death, huh?
That's right. Spiritually, there's no death.
Still ain't no death.
That's a promise. That's a promise by the Most High. You see that? That's a promise.
Right.
Well, I want to I just hit stop share for now, right? And it'll just stop the recording and pause it.
Nah, you gotta go to record and pause it. Go to record.
Let's do it.
Stay in your cars! Tell everyone to stay in your houses! Don't open your doors if you're going to war! City! This is my city, that's right!
I remember, y'all, we coming off that open borders and all that, and this is what we see in what happened after, right? Remember, political ploys, order out of chaos. So let's see what we got.
Take off your mask! Take off your mask! What? Out of your houses, everyone, do not come out! Stay in your houses!
Quédense en su casa, tienen derechos todos. No salgan si no hay una orden firmada por un juez. Avísenle a los vecinos. Todos los que tienen documentos y papeles salgan a ayudar. Por favor, están en todo West Chicago ahorita. Corran la voz, por favor.
What you say, y'all, man?
Hey, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, can you translate that, y'all, man? You feel me?
Yeah, she said, you know, let's get back to it.
Court handed the Trump administration a victory in its mass deportation efforts, and the federal government is launching a new immigration initiative in Chicago, focusing on people with criminal records. Torian Small has the latest from the White House.
The Supreme Court's conservative majority lifted a restraining order by a lower court judge who found ICE agents were conducting indiscriminate.
Yo, should I flip it, y'all, so it could be a little bigger? Oh, how y'all want it, like this, or y'all like it sideways?
Still waiting on that translation. Go ahead, Al.
What a little better, sideways or like front?
They kind of look the same.
Look the same? All right, it's gonna be small then.
Minute stops in and around Los Angeles.
Under the Fourth Amendment, you need a reasonable suspicion before you detain somebody and, for instance, question them based on their immigration status. The Supreme Court today put that ruling, that temporary restraining order, on hold while the case plays out.
The Supreme Court's 6-3 decision cleared the way for agents to conduct sweeping immigration operations in LA. Meanwhile, in Chicago, activists gathered Monday as the Department of Homeland Security says it's moving forward with Operation Midway Blitz, which would target people without legal permission to live in the U.S. who have criminal records.
They're going to be targeting our communities here in the Southwest side. Again, we're afraid. Our neighbors are afraid.
The initiative comes as President Trump says he wants to send troops to Chicago to combat crime.
We'd love to go into Chicago and straighten it out.
Appearing at the Museum of the Bible Monday, Trump said the Department of Education will issue new guidance about prayer in public schools.
We have to bring back religion in America, bring it back stronger than ever before.
The president did not provide details about what the new guidance will be. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
This morning, the green light has been given for the National Guard and other federal law enforcement to be sent to.
I say, look at them. Look at them. We got to bring back religion into schools and stuff. Look at that.
He want that. Once that guy that they was talking about that was at his inauguration, that crazy name. Remember?
Oh yeah. He was talking about like why the Google
You want some of that wagyu sauce, man?
Yo, you remember that, y'all? Oh, y'all
tomato sauce.
Yo. But he's talking about that one real religion though, right, Op? That they got coming up, that new age stuff that Truth Unlimited put up.
Hey, I gotta say something on that real quick. That one real religion, well, you know, I forgot the name, what the Catholic called it when they want to try to bring everybody together, right? But why lately the Catholic Church just gave the indigenous Indians like 60 some of their artifacts that they had for over 100 years, man, calling it fertility and peace and respect.
Wow.
Yep. Everybody gonna try to be on the same page.
Yes, sir. And we know that fertility go back to that and with that Ishtar, that fertility goddess,
Man, she decided a lot.
We gonna bring that out. We gonna bring that out when we deal with the Anunnaki stuff, cause that ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. That goes back to that Queen Mother of Heaven, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's all it is.
Crazy.
Memphis, Tennessee.
We're not going to allow this kind of savagery to destroy our society anymore.
President Trump late yesterday establishing a task force in Memphis to crack down on crime, similar to actions recently taken in the nation's capital.
The effort will include the National Guard as well as the FBI, ATF, DEA, ICE, Homeland Security investigations, and the U.S. Marshals, and more.
The move welcomed by Tennessee's Republican governor.
I'm tired of crime holding.
Got it up.
Hey, so y'all think all these all these people they putting them in y'all cities, they just getting y'all ready for martial law. That's what y'all saying. If they keep on putting all these the U.S. military, all these,
I
think so.
they can't just put martial. They can't just put martial law on you, right? Everybody gonna be rebelling. But if I start training your mind, you get used to it, right?
Strong armament, just like how they did us in slavery. You know, they beat they hurt the big man, that way everybody else get in line. They coming in these cities putting fear in everybody. That way when this mark come, hey, you get in line, or we coming to your city to make sure everybody got it.
So
You know what
dealing
I'm
with
saying?
they getting you like used to it. So now we got ICE in your city, military in your city, but it started with ICE talking about we're grabbing immigrants, right? So you got these militarized people hopping out, grabbing people saying, well, they're illegals. To now we got the National Guard, military coming in talking about, well, they're criminals. You know what I'm saying? Is martial law. You know what I'm saying? This is how they gotta smooth it up for you. You know, make it look nice and easy for you. I see what they did with it. Oh, go ahead, Mom.
Okay. So one of the things that they are doing with bringing the soldiers and stuff in is because they have the crime, like in Chicago and all of these different places. If you listen to the people that are inside of those places, they're now saying, well, Trump is doing it over here. We want them to come over here. So they're coming out, they're saying they want them to come over and clean up the city, which is welcoming that military into the area, which is, that's that conditioning. So since the National Guard is the ones that are able to operate on U.S. soil, it's just making it possible for them to get acquainted with the area. They want the help. They're saying that the police are not able to do it, but the police are saying, okay, at some point in time, some of them are saying, okay, y'all come in and we'll work together. So that's how the martial law is going to come in. They're asking for it. The people are literally starting to ask for it in certain areas, even though others are fighting it. They're asking for it because you can have them going, okay, yeah, we do have these illegals here. They are doing all of these things. Get them. And then for the ones where they look like us and they out there doing things, they're like, get them too. And after a while, Trump is like, okay, we're going there. So if you listen to some of them talking, they're asking for it because they're seeing the results from Washington. They're wanting it in their city. What they don't realize is they're opening it up for that martial law. So when it's reintroduced later on, they're going to be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I like how my mom pointed out.
Yeah.
I like how she pointed out that get the immigrants. Well, who let them in? As we watched at the beginning of the video, hey, the floodgates was open, right? They opened up the borders, and here we go. So yeah, wow. This is so we kind of see even more of what their plan is. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But Democratic city leaders in Memphis calling the move unnecessary.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard. I am looking forward to trying to find ways to invest in the things that we're already doing to address crime in our city.
We shouldn't have to walk out the door feeling like we're in a militarized zone. This is not the Gaza Strip.
FBI figures show Memphis ranks first in the country in the rate of violent crime, but local officials report making progress, claiming historic reductions, saying the murder rate is at a 6-year low. Trump insists the city is overrun with crime and is vowing to take similar action in other cities run by Democrats.
We're going to be doing Chicago probably next.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Trust in your word, waiting on the majesty. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. He opened our eyes, all but we glad to see. He sending floods and fire. Tornadoes and earthquakes is coming alive. He sit in the place, will you survive? He saw his father Jacob on the ride. We got the most side. We got the most side.
Hey yo, I'm feeling that y'all's misfits on this cap cut thing, man.
You know,
You hooked it up.
we got
you
the
like
most.
shattered paradise, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. I'm trying.
It's nice.
So brothers, if brothers got scriptures, this is the last video. Brothers, let me know. We know who's gonna watch it. Let's get to it.
Chilling and downright shocking escalation of ICE tactics against the residents of Chicago. In the middle of the night, hundreds of armed federal agents and police, backed up by riot trucks, smoke grenades, and helicopters, breached fences and busted doors in an immigration raid on an entire apartment building on the city's south side. They pulled dozens of residents from their homes and zip ties, including children, some of them without.
So we just talked about how they use this immigration stuff, and my mom poured out how this is gonna get flipped on us, and we're seeing it, right? Some of the immigrants look like us, right? So now they got these ICE agents, so-called ICE agents, going inside our community or our people and taking them out, talking about they might be immigrants, man.
And we just read that their compassion is cruelty. So, yep, check it out.
Come on now. So we see like where they this is what they really wanted to do. This was the whole purpose of letting these immigrants in the country. Look, come on.
Any clothes. They then held some outside for hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to.
Man, you know, it all started with immigration. She looked like a regular sister. How did it get turned on us like that? You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Exactly.
Crazy.
I ain't, you know,
One
I'm
of
keep my
them
comments
really.
to myself. I,
What you say, y'all?
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself right now.
Man, go ahead. What you trying to say?
Be nice, Shaq. Be nice.
But I'm trying to say,
Right,
headlight or something. Like, that's a sister.
Right, you know how he is.
Because y'all men started.
That's that court justice stuff. That's that court justice.
Look at he trying to set it up. I'll deal with you on that topic.
Hey, Israel all over. Hey, just in
I'll deal with you on that topic later. Talking about they look like us, the ones they pulling in vans. We'll talk about it.
Nah, we talking about.
Hey, she wasn't in no handcuffs or no snake.
But her people were, you know, our people were. Yeah. You talk about our people that they ran up in the building. Yeah.
He's standing right here. He said, them kids.
They zip tied the kids together.
I've said no compassion. We talked about that, no compassion.
Right.
Around the corner, because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
They zip tied the kids together. ICE put out a statement saying they were pursuing Trinidad gang members, but U.S. citizens living in the building say they were detained too. The cops told them that if they had any unrelated warrants, they wouldn't be going back home. 37 people were ultimately arrested after agents separated children from their parents.
Who that up?
So they didn't have no Hebrews and zip ties and stuff. They
Hey,
had
I just said we're gonna talk about that later. You just not catching up.
Venezuela.
Hold on, because they said it was our people up.
That's why.
Sure? Oh, okay.
I heard that too, though.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking why the woman wasn't in zip ties then. She's sitting there watching.
Right. No.
For hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
See that? That's what I'm saying. You see that? That's a sister right there. That's somebody auntie right there. She had a gun put in her face. Yeah. And then this was done to our people.
Right. Like, they was running through the whole apartment building though. Right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's probably getting a gun pointed on them, but not everybody was being detained. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we about to see as we get further in the video. You're gonna see some more.
Neighbors
around the corner, because they
37 people were ultimately arrested after agents separated children from their parents on the street. And if you're looking at this and asking yourself, how is this legal? That is the right question to ask. And it has kind of an answer. And to understand it, you have to go back to Los Angeles this summer, where federal immigration agents started pushing the envelope on orders from the White House. They raided Home Depot parking lots and Walmart lots, and they grabbed people they saw. Near one Home Depot, masked agents with batons grabbed Narcisco Barranco, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years and has 3 sons serving in the Marine Corps. Agents beat Barranco on the ground, dislocating his shoulder before detaining him. In Van Nuys, agents raided a car wash, remembering this, sending patrons and workers scrambling before the 79-year-old owner, who is a U.S. citizen named Rafi, tried to ask them what they were doing.
That is when Rafi was taken down by agents and eventually handcuffed. Rafi says he was injured in the process.
And my thing, whether or not, they Israelites or not, who's to say that we ain't next? Which we are. And we wish we have, our people are starting to go through this stuff too. But this is like he said, my mom said the word conditioning. They're conditioning you, getting you used to seeing people hop out on people, knocking people down, locking them up, doing things like that. That's not normal. That's not normal.
They still sons and daughters of Abraham.
Right.
Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? They still they children, still children of Noah.
Over the years, there's been different ways of conditioning us to try to get ready for this.
Right.
The whole thing is good versus evil. That's all.
Right.
And we see who they work for.
Right.
Who own these kingdoms. Hey, the one that owned the kingdoms, telling them how to treat the people, even though they human beings just like them.
Right.
Hit on me. This is my elbow about a week ago, and this is my arm.
Rafi says he and 5 others at his car wash were taken to a federal detention center downtown. We're still working to learn more about why they were detained.
And that man is not alone.
Look how you got my hand. You're twisting that. I'm American, bro.
Yo, these guys are literally based off of skin color. My homie was born here just because of the way he looks.
Agents kept stopping people they suspected of being undocumented immigrants for no reason other than they weren't obviously white. Like Brian Gavidia, the man you saw there, the 29-year-old American. He wasn't arrested, but he says agents went through his phone for 20 minutes and kept his real ID card. Now, these are obvious violations of people's core constitutional civil rights, their right to equal protection and the freedom from unlawful searches and seizures. And victims filed a class action lawsuit. And after an entire bench trial, a federal judge sided with those victims and ended the ICE sweeps. And in her ruling, she wrote, "It is illegal to conduct roving patrols which identify people based upon race alone, aggressively question them, and then detain them without a warrant, without their consent, and without reasonable suspicion that they are with status." Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And
an appeals court upheld her injunction against ICE. You have to stop doing it.
Or something though? Wasn't that like a law in New York, like stop and frisk or something?
Yeah. Yep.
So that ain't nothing new, right?
Nothing new. But now this time they got ICE and military in your town, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when they did stop and frisk for Israel, it wasn't a big uproar like it is right now. When they come to the ICE agents.
Man, you see how they was doing Issachar? Man,
yeah.
Get out of here, Shaq.
Yeah,
get out of here.
And they're gonna do it to anybody. You know they're gonna do it to us. So it's a matter of time, bro.
And so the Trump administration,
we about to see
the Supreme Court, and lo and behold, last month the court's 6-3 conservative majority voted to just let Trump and ICE continue for now, as the case works its way up, to use racial profiling in their immigration raids, halting the lower court's decision, saying go ahead. Now, they gave no reasoning or explanation for their decision, silent, except Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who wrote a short concurring opinion saying there's absolutely no problem whatsoever with racially motivated stops by law enforcement. Quote, "If the officers learn the individual they stopped is a U.S. citizen or otherwise lawfully in the U.S., they promptly let the individual go." Welcome to the era of what critics call the Kavanaugh stop. Carte blanche for ICE to continue violent, warrantless raids and stops all over the country to undocumented immigrants, lawful residents, and American citizens alike. Like Leonardo Garcia Venegas. You see him there being cuffed roughly by ICE agents on a construction site where he was working. Vargas showed the agents his real ID as proof of citizenship, and they told him he was lying. and it took hours to get him out of custody, so not exactly expeditious. And then, get this, 2 weeks later, ICE arrested him again at another work site. He's now suing the government. The consequence of all this is what we're seeing now in the dead of night in Chicago. Dozens of federal agents raiding an entire apartment building with kids in it just to see what they can find. It's the most egregious abuse of our basic rights as Americans I've seen in a long time, maybe my lifetime. And it comes 2 weeks after Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem posted a hype video of another violent ICE raid with helicopters and grenades, this time on a house in the Chicago suburbs. And guess what? 2 U.S. citizens were mistakenly arrested. You know, there's a reason the American founders put the right to be free from unlawful searches and seizures in the Bill of Rights from the start. Masked secret police profiling people and now targeting entire apartment buildings, making everyone prove they're not guilty of something, is the province of tyrants. It is the opposite of American. And I don't think Americans will stand for it, nor should they.
Immigration enforcement raids haven't hit these streets here in Little Haiti. Fears of deportation have been enough to destabilize neighborhoods and send community members into hiding regardless of their immigration status.
Israel right here.
Here in Brooklyn,
for sure.
When you step off the subway, you are transported to Haiti. Restaurants and street signs carry Haitian names. The church holds services in Creole. And a large Haitian flag waves in the wind. But nowadays, the normally busy streets of Little Haiti are nearly empty.
It's quiet. It's quiet.
Ruth Jean Marie calls Little Haiti home, but she says the streets are suddenly different.
Normally you would hear our music, you would hear conversations, and you don't see that anymore. People are scared.
While Jean Marie doesn't know of any recent immigration enforcement operations here, just the fear of deportation keeps store owners from talking with us and their shoppers at home.
And some of them aren't shopping anymore because they know that that money might be more useful when if they get deported.
Immigration experts tell us even those with legal status worry.
Detention looming over their heads, that they leave in the morning and they may not be able to go back home.
Veronica Cardenas, a former lawyer for ICE, now represents immigrants. She says neighborhoods like Little Haiti could be easy targets for immigration raids.
And so what I've been instructing my clients is if you don't know someone who's coming up to talk to you, do not respond. But that's creating so much seclusion, which I think heightens fear at that point.
What makes this neighborhood feel like home in Haiti may also draw unwanted attention to it.
It's called Little Haiti. We're basically saying, here we all are. Here's where you get your food. Here's where you educate your children. Here's where you speak to your God. And it will 100% be targeted because it's easy. It's easy. But then what else do we do? Go into hiding?
It seems for now that is what is happening. So what is your hope for Little Haiti?
My hope for Little Haiti is that it'll continue to flourish. And that it'll continue to be...
I'm going to bring this out real quick. It's outside the video, but we still on the topic. Go to We Woke. I should have added this. That's the name, We Woke, right? We Woke? Yeah. Brother, he had something really good out. I don't know how long ago it was, but let's see something. I can show y'all, man. This brother be posting too, man.
Yeah, he be having some good stuff on his channel.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, he be posting, yo. He had a video where they was messing with us, Alright, I probably can't find it.
Say live?
Yeah, let me say live real quick, then. I do it. This video educational purposes.
Accountable.
Next to nothing. Next to zero. Next to zero. And so now this kid's got to walk around thinking, is somebody going to cuff and murder me over a fake video that I didn't say the things in that video? I wasn't fucking threatening ICE.
This week, the Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to continue conducting immigration are based on racial profiling.
This is really a transformation in the way that the country has previously thought about what suspicion means.
The decision puts a hold on a lower court restraining order in California that barred federal law enforcement from detaining people based on perceived race, ethnicity, language, or workplace.
See that? See that?
The original lawsuit by
straight brother, man.
But they think he Haitian. Again, when they was opening when they was opening the borders for everybody, they was letting all the essays in. But if you was Haitian or something like that, they wasn't letting them in. They got videos in Texas where it was some immigrants.
Yeah, that too. But
immigrants from Haitian, they let all the Mexicans in. But as soon as them Haitians, them black people started coming in, they was like, nope. They put their guns on them and told them to turn around. They got videos on that.
Oh no, that's a fact. But I'm just showing like this went from immigration to now they looking at us now. Because you got some immigrant that's Haitian. You got immigrants that look like us that's in this country, but we look like them, right? Because we know we the Israelites. We know we took the all four corners of the earth. So they running down on our people too, because we the same people, just where the boat stop. So I'm just showing like this immigration stuff, we thought that it was just gonna stop at the Mexicans or whatever. Nah, now they started to mess with us.
The American Civil Liberties Union stems from ICE raids at Los Angeles home improvement stores, car washes, and other places frequented by Latinos.
This changes nothing about what the law is.
The ACLU in Massachusetts says that doesn't mean federal law enforcement won't challenge those rights on the ground.
No one can be stopped because of how they look.
U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi celebrated the SCOTUS.
Hey, who are the first ones being stopped in America based on how they look? Who can relate to that but us, more than us?
Stop and frisk, guy. That's
Straight up. So they've been doing this to us, and this is a continuation. I'll get back to it.
It still raises concerns about how ICE agents might behave in places like Boston.
But it's not just undocumented people. I have interviewed American citizens.
I saw this. You went to Chicago.
Yes,
yeah, I saw this. Yeah. American citizens are being rounded, brown and black people more broadly, and it includes American citizens. As you said, there was a kid saying, "I'm an American citizen."
He's a citizen! He's a citizen!
A takedown by immigration officers recorded outside a Walgreens store as loved ones pleaded for his release.
You don't know what's going on, so get the back!
It happened after federal agents were seen swarming the store, appearing to be in search of someone.
When he called for backup, other people come in, and that's when I start to leave.
But Warren King says he didn't get far from the exit before being tackled to the ground by a federal agent and placed under arrest. The 19-year-old is now left with scars, both physical and mental.
I'm telling them I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm here. I'm legal. I'm born here. So they didn't try to hear none of that, though.
It all apparently stems from this collision captured on video at nearby 105th and Avenue N, showing Border Patrol agents in this white truck crashing into a red SUV Tuesday morning. It happened following a chase that residents say circled the neighborhood for nearly 30 minutes after Homeland Security says the driver, an alleged undocumented immigrant, rammed into their agent's vehicle.
I just graduated high school, so they could come from literally anybody. And that's not right.
You got people out here locking people up for no reason. I'm born here. You said you're born here? Yeah, I'm born here. Kings County Hospital, Brooklyn. I'm born here. I'm gonna get on my fuck up. Yeah, broke that. Clown ass niggas. Suck my. Yo, suck.
Officer of the DC Bar, that these officers are violating my civil rights under federal law, and I will be pressing charges on everyone who has physically touched me tonight, who has applied pressure to me in ways that I will not forget anytime soon. This is tragic. In a country where black men are being killed by people that look just like this, I was sneered at, I was ignored, and I was not told why I was being detained.
What are the names of the two officers holding you right now?
This officer at Costello. At Costello, he has his name blocked off. I do not know what it is, and I don't want to touch him for fear of my life. This is an FBI agent who I do not know.
Aren't they only allowed to hold you for 10 minutes without charging you?
They are trying to manufacture evidence. I do not have a magazine in my weapon because my magazine is in the trunk of my vehicle, which they would have known if they would have asked me. To the American people watching, this is what calling out a failed system looks like. Again, I was walking peacefully down this block, and I was accosted by 20, no less than 20 MPD, FBI, ATF agents and officers. I am not crazy. I am totally sane. I have complied with all of these officers' requests, and 30 minutes after being detained, I remain detained and not created able to go. I do not know what charges. I do not know why I'm being detained. I was given no information. No officers are offering me any type of credence, no type of respite, nothing. Simply stand here, you niggas, and be handcuffed while we wait to find magazines that do not exist, or we will find one for you. I assume that is the case.
I'm American citizen, and it didn't matter. The fact that people are saying to us, you need to carry a passport. This is traveling within...
Show me your papers.
Within the states.
I know.
Not going abroad, we have to now carry our passports. I carry my passport with me all the time.
If they look at it, Kareem, because they won't. I interviewed a man who said, I had my birth certificate, 100%. I had my state ID card, and my social security card. They didn't want to look at it. 10 hours he was in detention.
Yeah.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
You gonna end it there, huh? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that immigration stuff ain't just about, you know, that stuff. It's a, you know,
bigger plan.
Right.
Yeah, like they said, I had my papers, I had all this and that on me.
They didn't
And
care.
they didn't even look at it.
Yeah, just the fact that they didn't want to look at it, you already know it's a bigger plan, man.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to put it in your body. That way we can just scan and make sure you got all that stuff.
Chilling and downright.
You don't see no paper. You don't see no paperwork. That goes back to saying, you know, government gonna be on the shoulder, you know, like I said, come, Master Yahushua, come.
Straight up, huh?
Migration rates.
And so what I've been instructing my clients is if you don't know someone who's coming up to talk to you, do not respond. But that's creating so much seclusion, which I think heightens fear at that point.
What makes this neighborhood feel like home in Haiti may also draw unwanted attention to it.
It's called Little Haiti. We're basically saying, here we all are. Here's where you get your food. Here's where you educate your children. Here's where you speak to your God. And it will 100% be targeted because it's easy. It's easy. But then what else do we do? Go into hiding?
It seems for now, that is what is happening.
So what is your hope for Little Haiti?
My hope for Little Haiti is that it'll continue to flourish. And that it'll continue to be a homecoming of sorts for everyone who understands how valuable Haitians are.
The months ahead will put that sense of hope to the test, with the Trump administration canceling temporary protective status for Haitians August 3rd. That means, unless it's extended, the estimated 520,000 Haitians who are here under the program will immediately lose legal status. And Little Haiti, already a shadow of what it was, could simply disappear. Katia Tubman, Scripps News Group, New York.
Right side of history, I don't care what nobody say. So you telling me that ICE came to Brooklyn, specifically Little Haiti, Flatbush, kote all Haitians you leave? I guess ICE was trying to detain the Haitians over there, and the Haitians were not going for it. I think that people forget that we were the first ones.
And the whole thing is not just Haitians living in Little Haiti. You got regular so-called Black Americans there. You got all types of different people there, but we the same people, so we look the same. So if ISIS could run down on y'all could go, any one of us could go to Little Haiti and we could look Haitian. Why? Because we all the same. We all Israel. And they can run down on us.
To be freed, my people got a taste of slavery and said, we can't do this. Wrap this up by tonight.
Y'all, I just saw a crazy fucking video. Apparently, ICE agents thought that they was about to come to Brooklyn to just go ahead and snatch up some Haitian people like they've been doing to Mexican people. Y'all gotta see the video. The Haitian people was whooping they.
So, Haitians, y'all decided the best thing you're gonna do in 2025 is to whoop us. Us is busy taking Latinos, Hispanics, and everything, Asians, everything, Africans. They're busy taking everybody and their mother, and we got rumors that they're being dumped in the ocean lately. And y'all said, you come for we coming for you. I think I finally understand why a lot of African people say that the closest person to being a typical African person is a Haitian. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I was scrolling through the internet and then I found these videos on TikTok where people were talking about how Asians whooped ICE. Ladies and gentlemen, I really don't even want to waste your time. I just want to show you what the people will say it.
It seemed like ICE didn't learn their lesson. Now they didn't jump from culture to culture and they found the right one. You found the right one. No, seriously, like, I want to know what was ICE thinking. Like, do they not know what goes down in Haiti? Like, y'all do not stand a chance with them. These are the same people that unalived their own president. Y'all got me up in my protective style to just give y'all a moment, because I want to remind you that I told you, ICE, not to come to the tri-state. I told you that you weren't ready for us. And now the Haitians done knocked and dragged you. Listen. Jenny tried to tell you, you come to New York, New Jersey, you come to Philly, we bout all of it. We here for all of it. And now I done found out from my peoples on this chat that they allowing concealed carry now. Oh, please, find something safe to do. Go find you a Midwest town that voted red. Because all these blue states, we come in. Go to the hospital. Get patched up. You can get you a redo. We dying to see you in Jersey. We dying to show you what we could do. Everybody want a piece of ICE. We got you.
There's a reason why Haitians were the first people to say slavery.
So I saw a couple videos of Haitians actually fighting back against ICE. ICE is in the Haitian community trying to kidnap some people, and the Haitians were literally fighting back, pulling ICE off of their people, throwing them to the ground, escorting their people away from them. Anytime ICE would grab somebody, the people would hop on that ICE agent and throw them to the ground. They were literally fighting back. And this honestly makes sense, because what you said is so true. There are people that would rather die fighting to stay here than go back to a country where they're going to do nothing but suffer. And for the people that are gonna, well, why is their country nothing but suffering? Because of America. America destabilized the country, planted corrupt regimes, and then wonder why you have people fleeing the country to come over here looking for freedom. Then they're gonna take the people that fled from the mess that they created and try to ship them back there. I wish I could show you guys some of the videos that I saw of the Haitian people fighting back, but all those videos seem to get removed immediately. They don't want us watching videos of people fighting back against ICE. Super.
Like he said, from the mess that they created, right? Like he said, ain't nothing new. These people caused the problem, and they gonna be part of the solution, man, because they got a plan at the end of all this.
They got us so messed up.
You said what up?
They got us so messed up here in America. You know what I'm saying? This how it should have been in our communities when they come do us like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right up. Straight up.
Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. Well, beginning May 7, 2025, TSA will finally start enforcing the Real ID Act, requiring Real ID compliant identification in order for a person to board a domestic flight. That means within the U.S. Now, the main form of identification typically presented at airports for domestic flights is a person's state-issued driver's.
So what a coincidence, right? Open up the borders, get all these immigrants in it. They got immigration telling you about the Real ID. It's been out, but they bringing it back after they done open up these borders, right? And they enforcing it even more now.
License, and they typically have stars in the upper right corner. However, in order to obtain a Real ID driver's license, the person must demonstrate that they are in lawful status. Okay, but what about people who are out of status and therefore they are unable to obtain a Real ID compliant driver's license? So how are they going to be able to travel on a domestic flight? Is there some other form of identification that they can provide to TSA? Well, watch this video for answers. Now, a little bit of background. In 2005, Congress passed the Real ID Act in the aftermath of 9/11.
Hold on. Y'all heard that? And y'all know that 9/11 y'all know that was an inside job. Right. What did they use 9/11 for? They use 9/11 so now they could just hack into your computers, right? They say, well, because of terrorism, I could get all up in your business.
They use 9/11 to
do more. Right? The Patriot Act.
Right.
Exactly. So now here we go again with the Real ID. After we got to make sure you're really legal here. We want to make sure you're in rightful status. Y'all see what's going on?
But look how long after they voted it in that it took to take effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't after 2005, 2006 to 2010, you ain't even thought about no Real ID.
Right.
Even up to 2015, 19, you ain't thought about no Real ID.
Nope.
But it was passed way back in 2005.
So why now?
Exactly.
And that required that the federal government, and I quote, set standards for the issuance of sources of identification such as driver's license, unquote. Now, that act, the Real ID Act, established minimum security standards for state-issued driver's license and who would be eligible to obtain those driver's licenses. Now, most importantly, for many of you out there watching, one of the requirements was that the person must provide proof of lawful status. Now, as I said before, a Real ID compliant driver's license would typically...
What's that up?
I was saying that's that birth certificate and stuff right there because, I just recently got my driver's license after probably like 20 years, man. I ain't gonna say 20, but it was a long time, man, for real. At least about 15 though. And I ain't had no driver's license, man. And once I finally went to go get my driver's license, they told me I had to bring a birth certificate, man.
Right.
And now I see that's this law that they talking about. Proving that you was, I'm talking about, a real life citizen out here. Like you was born out here. You feel me?
Right. We're gonna keep it. I don't want to give it away. We keep going. Yep.
Typically have a star at the upper top portion of the card.
Well, I'll just say it, because we coming into the beast system, one world government. You know what I'm saying? So this is. I think this is just, getting us ready for that one world order, man.
Well, even stuff like just like they just showed you, because ain't that Sunday law on the tables and in the books already? It's just not being enforced.
Yep.
You talking about Sunday law where everything closed?
No, where you're gonna basically be forced to worship on Sunday. Ain't that what that Sunday law is?
Well,
Adam brought that out, I think, one time.
Yeah, but that's how it used to be in the South. Out here, when I was growing up, everything used to be closed on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of stuff be closed on Sunday.
Yeah, the grocery stores, all that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You see the Sabbath, everything open.
Man, that's the most jumping day. Don't forget about Sabbath day. Don't forget about the night of the Sabbath. Everybody at the club. Everybody
For sure.
So they getting everything ready for this beast system.
Although the act was passed in 2005, its enforcement has been postponed, extended, and delayed now for almost 20 years. But starting May 7, 2025, a person will need to present a real ID compliant driver's license or other acceptable forms of identification in order for a person to board a domestic flight, that means within the U.S., or to be able to enter federal facilities. Now, I've received many inquiries from people who are out of status and therefore they're not eligible for real ID compliant driver's license. And they're asking, how can they now travel within the U.S. on a commercial aircraft? Well, there is good news. The TSA on its website has listed several alternate documents that can be presented to TSA at the airport in lieu of or instead of a real ID compliant driver's license.
I was going to bring up a point. You know what I'm saying? Just like the vaccine, they try to scare people into doing it, into compliant, and they try to make it seem like, oh, you have to do something. Well, recently I just traveled on an airplane and I wasn't sure if, they were going to give me a problem. But long story short, I don't have a real ID, but I was able to present my regular state ID. And one lady, all they did, gave me while I was going to Georgia, they just gave me a paper, let me know, okay, you're not real ID compliant. But I went through, I didn't have to do nothing extra. I just went through. All right, when I'm on my way back to North Carolina from Georgia, the lady tried to give me a problem. And then she told the guy, well, he's not compliant, try to make it a situation. The guy said, well, we already got told that, let them through. So the whole thing is about getting as many people to comply as possible. Because at the end of the day, if you have an ID, for you to even have a state ID, driver license, you've been had to prove that you was a citizen of that country. So how out of nowhere is me, if I have that to begin with, why I gotta get a real one? Because in order to get this with what is a fake one, I had to prove that I was an American citizen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying now, because before, in that same situation back in the day, like I said, I ain't had no driver's license, but I used to just have a CHL, a concealed handgun license back in the day. You feel me?
Right.
And that's just according to the state, you know what I'm talking about? So every time I used to travel back in the day, you know what I'm talking about, trips was necessary. Every time I get pulled to the side and they'll just frisk me up, you feel me? I had to go through the extra procedures, you know what I'm talking about? But we looking at a time where none of this gonna really matter. You know what I'm talking about? Like you say, we coming to a time where your real ID gonna be implanted in you, man.
Exactly. And this is what they're doing. It's a conditioning, right? We're transitioning, right?
Exactly. The conditioning started in 2020 with the shot. Then you see the conditioning right now for martial law is them just putting the National Guard in your cities and stuff like that. That's that conditioning. Once you're used to seeing, army people with guns next to you like in other countries, man. Once you condition to that stuff, like your mom was saying earlier, man, you know you ain't gonna have no fight back against it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. And this is why we started off. That's why I said immigration was deeper than what we thought, because this is what the immigration opened up to all this stuff. The ICE in your city, martial laws, and now here we are with the real ID, trying to say, well, you have to prove your in law and legal status.
Now, one of the acceptable documents is a foreign government issued passport. In other words, let's say a Filipino wants to fly within the U.S., they could present the picture page of their unexpired Philippine passport instead of a real ID compliant driver's license, and they would be able to board the flight. Now, TSA is not supposed to be checking legal status, visas, or anything else.
That's deep, because the passport is supposed to be like international travel, and we're talking about a one world government. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna take your passport, but they won't take your local state ID by itself. That's deep.
And as I said, TSA on its website listed the acceptable documents to be able to board a plane, which includes a foreign government issued passport. Now, I want to caution people who are out of status, so there's no confusion, no misunderstanding. I am discussing in this video only a person's ability to fly within the U.S. or domestically. If you are out of status, you cannot fly internationally or outside the U.S. In other words, you can't use your Philippine passport to fly to the Philippines and come back. Otherwise, if you fly internationally and you're out of status, you could be banned from returning to the U.S. for between 3 and 10 years. And I also want to be clear that some states were issuing driver privilege documents to undocumented aliens. And that was like, for example, AB 60 driving privilege document in California. Now, those driver's license or ID are not real ID compliant. While most people who are out of status may still be able to fly domestically or within the U.S. using their foreign government issued passport, I see that, me personally, I see that as only a temporary fix or workaround for your situation. What you really need to try to do and solve, and the real problem, no pun intended, is to finally find a way to legalize your status. You may want to consult with an immigration attorney who could evaluate your circumstance, and perhaps there could be pagasa, there could be hope, there could be a pathway for you to legalize your status so that you may be able to obtain real ID and a real life in the U.S. Now, I hope you found this video helpful, informative, especially for you who are worrying about how you'd be able to travel after May 2025. As you can see, foreign government issued passport. And I will continue monitoring the immigration developments, especially under this time of Trump, where people are actually afraid to travel, whether it is somebody out of status flying domestically. I am even getting many inquiries about green card holders and U.S. citizens afraid to fly outside the U.S.
It's not a driver's license anymore. That is a federal ID under federal control that the federal government is allowing the states to use for people to use as a driver's license. But you'll notice it's not called a real driver's license, right? It's called a real ID. It is a national ID card. It's a usurpation of states' rights. It's a violation of privacy rights. They plan to digitize it. The DMV has testified to Congress. They plan to digitize it, put it on your phone, and have remote and real-time access to it.
This is happening right now. So I've run up against this. They tell you can't fly unless you have what they call a real ID. Now, I used to just use my driver's license, but that changed recently, and you have to have what they call a real ID, which is not just a state ID anymore. It's a federal ID, really. So this is really wild that we're going against what everybody thinks of America, that you don't need to have this. But here, down here, I want to read this to you. The official purpose of this. It says the term official purpose includes, but is not limited to, accessing federal facilities. So you need a real ID if you want to access federal facilities. If you want boarding federally regulated commercial aircraft, or entering nuclear power plants. So 2 out of the 3, I'm good. And then it says, and any other purposes that the secretary shall determine. So that means they could use for anything, for any reason whatsoever at any time.
Well, Jimmy, you are ahead of the crowd here. The fact that you found that is fantastic, because most people think, oh, this is just about flying. Absolutely not. And that's one of the reasons we as a health freedom organization are in this battle, because we believe it will lead to no card, no care. And not only that, but we know that a lot of people don't have to fly, and they never will fly, or they'll fly only once. And they've already flown that one time, right? But everybody needs access to a doctor. So if Secretary Kristi Noem wanted to force everybody into Real ID, which she does, she could simply take this, because you'll notice that that statement there says the secretary shall determine. And in a rule that the Homeland Security put out back in 2008, they declared that they do not have to go back to the president or to Congress to expand these required purposes. In other words, they are expanding. They have the power to expand restrictions, restricted access, restrictions on travel. You can just imagine if you had to have it to open a bank account, to get married, to buy a gun, to rent a car, you name it. They could come up with a, national security purpose for any of those, right? And so there's absolutely no limit. That is only the floor. The ceiling is endless. So it's really important, for people to understand that what they have in their pocket, if they've got one of those stars. So thank you for having those stars up there in that graphic, because, and California has the bear, but everybody else has got some sort of a star. And to understand that that is not a driver's license anymore. That is a federal ID under federal control that the federal government is allowing the states to use, for people to use as a driver's license. But you'll notice it's not called a real driver's license, right? It's called a real ID. It is a national ID card. It's a usurpation of states' rights. It's a violation of privacy rights. They plan to digitize it. The DMV has testified to Congress. They plan to digitize it, put it on your phone, and have remote and real-time access to it. And because it's also under biometric control, so the rule, the Real ID rule, says that it needs a biometric facial scanned picture, right? So the picture that is now on there is a biometric picture. And I read that they need, to be a biometric picture, they need like 50 points between your 2 ears. So it's a different kind of picture that's being taken and being put on here. And they have essentially decided that it is they've claimed a right to collect and catalog the coordinates of your body for their control and their surveillance. And they just say it's starting with the face, but they say in the future it could be other things. And if states have bowed to the federal government and conformed with the Federal Real ID Act, they have also agreed that when the federal government changes something, the state will change something.
So what is the real, what's the real downside to this program, which was, by the way, slipped into a defense authorization bill? How this originally got passed was after 9/11. It was like 2005 or something like that, and it got slipped into a defense authorization bill, like a must pass kind of a thing, and so a lot of the people voting on it weren't really even aware of what was happening. And they never had a hearing on this in the Senate. There was never any public testimony or a hearing or anything. They just went ahead and did this. So what is the real nightmare scenario with this? Is this one of those things where this is going to be tied to your kind of a social credit score, and if you're using too much carbon, if they have a carbon footprint metric, and they could stop you from spending your own money in certain ways. Is that what you are afraid of? Something like that?
Well, I think that we have to just look at it first and foremost that they've gone completely against the Constitution. And they have said to states that driving is under federal control, identification is under federal control, and as you noted there, and for any other purpose. And so that would mean that travel, transportation, transactions, access, all of these things can be put under federal control under this law. So on its face, it's just unconstitutional. And, the interesting thing about this is that in the very beginning, when the states got wind of this, and you're correct, people didn't get wind of it, although people in the Senate knew what they were voting on, because it was an amazing testimony from the people on the Senate floor. Lamar Alexander's calling it a national identification card and saying we need a public debate on this. Patty Murray, a Democrat, she talked about the fact that there are privacy concerns. We shouldn't do that. I never voted on it, was never in conference committee. So it's not like they didn't know on the Senate floor, right? But then once the states got wind of this, about 30 states came against it. They either wrote passed laws that said we will not comply, or they passed resolutions that said we object. And so nothing really happened for about 9 years until President Obama stood up and said to the world, you won't be able to fly in 2016 if you don't have a real ID. And that's when the national media picked it up, fanned the flames of fear throughout the entire country. And within about 3 years, all the states had conformed, and rather than standing up like the earlier legislators had. And so, ultimately, this is all about federal control. And as, what's his name in Massachusetts, not Massachusetts, Massey, Congressman Massey said, you won't actually understand how they want to use it until everybody's got it. And, from our perspective, we're going to stop this thing. We're going to make sure everybody does not get it. Because if you look at the national ID cards in other countries, and if you look at the country who's helping them as well as our country create this national ID system, they need it for everything. They basically can't do anything if they don't show their national ID. And so it's no longer about the states, and the states are completely out of the picture. Now it's all about the federal government and whichever administration you have. And you are correct about this.
With this stuff. Seriously.
This been a ploy the whole time. Crazy.
This idea of carbon credits. Because the fact of the matter is the liberals really want you to stay in your 15-minute cities. And when it's digitized, put it on your phone, and every time you use it, it pings the government, right? They will know when you leave your 15-minute cities. And certainly there are those who would prefer to tax you for every time that you cost too much, use too much carbon.
Yeah, so if you use too much gas or oil or electricity or whatever, they can they can do whatever they want.
Right.
So why do you think there isn't? I mean,
it's scary, huh?
Why aren't people like Rand Paul and Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and whoever? Why aren't there more people out there screaming about this than just you?
Yeah. Well, we have Thomas Massey is out there. Ron Paul is out there. Rand Paul is a mystery. I don't know if he's got a plan and he's just not implementing it yet. I'm waiting to see how far this goes because he has never been a supporter of national identification systems. We have worked with him for a long time to stop the unique patient identifier, which was Hillary's plan for one number for all of your medical records. So, it is a mystery to us. We have no idea. But there is a general feeling out there that this is a done deal. But if it's a done deal, then we have lost our freedom in the country, because then the federal government is in charge of everything, gets all the information, has all of the control. And this is, you know, we have to stop that to actually keep an America that is free.
Breaking news, political ploy.
Put a little more sour cream on the potatoes too, baby. With a little more butter and sour cream with pepper.
At DMVs across the country, the Real ID rush is on, with lines stretching on for blocks.
It's very intimidating, let me tell you. Very intimidating, yes.
Ahead of tomorrow's long-awaited May 7th deadline, we found people waiting outside this Chicago location for up to 4 hours.
When you walked up here and you saw this line, what did you think?
Oh, took my breath away, not in a good way.
You tried to buy a spot in line.
Yeah, I have $40 in my wallet. I was like, hey, anyone wanna give me their spot in line?
Beginning tomorrow, TSA will start requiring those boarding domestic flights to show Real ID compliant driver's licenses. Passengers can bring some other forms of ID, including a valid passport. TSA says those who don't have acceptable forms of ID should allow extra time for screening.
We don't want anybody to get delayed and not be able to travel when they get to an airport.
The shift rooted in calls for more safety in air travel, with Congress passing the Real ID Act in 2005 after the 9/11 Commission recommended stronger federal standards for state-issued IDs. Following decades of delays, the wait is finally over, and lots of Americans are scrambling.
I've been trying on and off for a week, and I either miss it or they flat out tell me it's booked.
The summer travel season already off to a chaotic start, with air traffic controller shortages nationwide under a renewed microscope. United Airlines warning passengers to avoid hard-hit Newark Airport, canceling close to 36 daily flights through the crowded hub. Now, America's airports are counting down to another major shift, with the Real ID ripple effect already unmissable.
So amid of this, we should point out, we're also seeing a lot of state and local officials doing a lot to address, they say, false online rumors about Real ID, specifically that you're generally legally required to get it by tomorrow, or that you won't be able to get it after tomorrow. They stress neither of those things are true. You will absolutely be able to get it after tomorrow. And for most Americans, you really only need it for when you're planning to fly within the U.S. Guys.
All right, Maggie Vesper there at Chicago O'Hare. Maggie, thank you.
Well, let's drill down on more of those facts. We've got Steve Lorenz, Deputy Executive Assistant Administrator for Security Operations at the TSA. Mr. Lorenz, good morning to you. First of all, set the scene for us. How ready do you think this country is for Real ID? How many people have got their IDs up to date?
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me this morning. I will tell you, currently, we have about 81% of the population that is traveling has Real ID compliant driver's license or a passport or other acceptable forms of ID. So we are well prepared for tomorrow for the launch of Real ID implementation. There's been a lot of work that has been taking place over the last couple months, but also the last couple years to make sure that we're ready. So TSA is ready to go. There's been a lot of collaboration and coordination on our part to make sure that the agency, our employees are ready to handle the passenger volumes coming our way.
So, Steve, again, just to be clear, we actually want to show folks at home right now some of the other forms of ID that you can carry with you if you do not have a Real ID, including, of course, your passport. I was surprised to find out there are actually 15 different kinds of IDs that people can have with them if they don't get one of those Real IDs in time. If you don't have one, Steve, remind people what they can expect if they get to when they get to the airport for their flight.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we would recommend is just give yourself plenty of time, not only for parking, but checking in with the airlines, and give yourself the opportunity to make sure that you go through the screening process. It's going to be important to mention, it's going to be a full court press at all the airports across the country. So we're going to have staff that's going to be positioned in front of our security checkpoints. If you have questions, if there's any questions about acceptable forms of ID, we recommend that you go go to TSA.gov. It has the list of acceptable forms of ID that we have. But we're ready. We're ready to go for tomorrow, and we're going to make sure that the customers have a seamless experience going through the security checkpoint process.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen. If you don't have your real ID, as mentioned, show up a little early. You can probably still get on your flight if you show that you your real identity there.
Give yourself some more time.
Yeah. Thank you.
And by the way, I would just also record. Thank you, Steve. Check your ID. I was going to have to go out and get one. I checked my driver's license last week. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I actually have one.
You're compliant. You're compliant.
Yeah. What did you have? Star or
I
flag?
got a star.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got a star.
What'd you got? Star?
I haven't looked yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
It'll be a
Mr.
surprise.
Roku got his probably 5 years ago.
No, but a couple of years ago.
Hey, yo, Shaq. Hey,
Yes, sir.
Hey, Shaq, you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, the guy in the blue shirt. That's Yahuda when he be at work.
That was her.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna have to mute Big Man. Hey, Big Man, you gotta hit the mute button, huh? You good? Hold on. How I do it, Yahoo? I'll be doing it all the time. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, he hit it. Yeah, hey, Shaq, check this out. This Yahuda out when he be at work. The guy in the blue.
You're compliant. You're compliant.
Yeah. What did you have? Star or
I
flag?
got a star.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got a star.
What'd you got? Star?
I haven't looked yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
It'll be a
Mr.
surprise.
Roku got his probably 5 years ago.
No, but a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And everybody, I was kind of surprised at 81%. That's
Yes, I know, exactly.
That's pretty good. So people.
Hey, that's how he be talking too, for sure.
That's how he be talking, huh?
That's how he be talking. He ready too. Hey, I was playing on the game with him the other day. He like, yeah, I gotta go to work the other day. He started practicing on his voice and stuff. He started talking to the Gentile. Yes, sir. Yeah, I like that. Good job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that brother get back into character, you know?
What y'all talking about?
Hey, we said that's you right here in the blue, huh? It's you
My
right
brother
here.
just wanted to slobber off his cheek. Tell me
Right.
what y'all talking about.
Yeah, right. Hey, yeah, right. They talking about your papa.
Oh, it said that? Hey, God, this is you right here. I can
Listening, we like that. Hey.
Okay. All right.
It'll be a
Mr.
surprise.
Roku got his probably 5 years ago.
No, but a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And everybody, I was kind of surprised at 81%. That's
Yes, I
great.
know, exactly.
That's pretty good. So people are listening. We like that. Hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah, right.
Like microchip looks like. It is about the size of a grain of basmati rice. So Patrick here is the CIO. Andy is a licensed body piercer. So let it rip. We're going to see this now. I got it. I can't look.
Chip party, baby. Chip party.
I can't look. Needle is in. Chip is in.
Bingo.
Not very much blood at all. Patrick, how that feel?
Better than get my wisdom teeth out.
Okay, and you're still conscious.
Yeah, I'm great.
Melissa got chipped yesterday, but you had to be talked into doing this. How long did it take you to say yes to this?
I was a little hesitant at first, but I had 7 days to think about it, and once I learned the facts, there was no question in my mind.
Okay, one last thing we want to show you over here. Hold on, Matt. Go ahead, Steve. They can buy their goodies here in the break room by just using their hand. Real quickly, he's going to get a Kit Kat bar. And it's paid for $1.06, guys. So the question again, as we asked you last week, are you ready to be
biometric ID? I mean, as you know, my view is the whole world's getting changed by technology. The big political debate we should be having, we're not really having it, is how do you master this technology and harness it for the public good? But in every single field of our work, our leisure, the way we interact with each other, technology is going to change everything. So, you know, biometric ID is just one part of a much bigger picture. Face this situation in the future, we're going to have to create a global infrastructure to deal with future pandemics, because I think what has happened to us is probably part of a change that is going to be just normal.
Breaking news now. Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working. Let's bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally.
You see how we tied it all back to the immigration, right? And this is the UK also going through this. So we see this was a global plan. How are we going through immigration in America and they doing it in the UK?
Here in the UK.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems.
He said they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. Well, who caused the issues?
Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict.
All UK citizens will have to have one. Well, the plan is that we're going to roll this out by the end of
No,
Parliament.
my question is, what if I
Just
don't?
as Nero is reaching his early 20s. And so, of course, at this point, we begin to see an entirely different sort of character. He doesn't have that stabilizing ballast anymore. He himself is really unraveling in many significant ways. He's just a strange character, and strange in a tragic and really ghastly way. He loved to view himself as a wonderful entertainer. You probably know this. He loved to hold great concerts in Rome, requiring people to attend. They were required to sit for hours and listen to him play and sing. Now, entertainers were not held in the highest regard anyway. The Romans were a little bit incensed by this, but the fact that he would require that, he wouldn't let them go to the restroom. There are actually, Tacitus tells us, there are reports of women having babies because they were not permitted to leave during his concerts. So you get the idea of the way in which he operated, and fortunately, we don't run Sunday school that way, right? So you can... Anyway, these next couple of years are pretty ugly. His true colors really come out. I was going to bring you a quote, but it's so colorful I wasn't even comfortable reading it in mixed company. But it describes some of the ways in which he behaved. Certainly his sexual exploits were just almost indescribable. The bloodshed, ghastly, gratuitous forms of violence. I won't try to go into more detail. Just take it from me. This was a really ugly chapter, and the Roman people were aware of it. They were aware that they had something much worse than a loose cannon now as the most powerful man in the world. And these 2 years were really, I think, a time when probably there was a whole lot of thinking in the Roman world about how do we get rid of this guy, you know. But Nero was smart enough to make sure that he was never in an exposed place where his life might be put at risk. Things changed a little bit in the year 64. 64 was the year of what's called the Great Fire of Rome. And this was one of the most important incidents that took place in this era. About a third of the city burned. Nero was out of town at the time. He was on vacation about some miles away, 30 or 40 miles away. And there wasn't an immediate suspicion that Nero was responsible for it. As soon as news reached him of the fire, he hastened back to Rome. Of course, the fire was still going on. It took several days, in fact, a couple of weeks actually, to finally burn out. It destroyed about a third of the city. Some people kind of suspected that Nero might be involved, but he tried to pass himself off as the savior in the face of this. He kind of came off like the early version of the Red Cross. He came in and he gave people food and clothing and provided for them temporary shelters, and all of that did score him some points. Those points, however, were relatively negated, I would say, when within about a week or two of the fire being over, he trotted out these elaborate plans to rebuild that part of the city. Plans that were so detailed and intricate, everybody knew in a heartbeat that those plans were already developed, you know. He didn't put all that together since the fire, and of course then suspicions just went over the top that Nero was responsible. Add to that that he intended to change the name of Rome to Neropolis. And everybody at the gathered he was the one who had been behind this fire. To deflect attention from himself, he decided to blame almost universally despised subpopulation in Rome known as Christians, and blamed them for the fire. Now, it's interesting that that would be the case. It says to us that by this time the Christian population had become conspicuous enough that somebody like Nero would know they were out there. And yet at the same time, of course, they weren't in a position of any kind of power, politically or otherwise. So it's an interesting thing that this would be the case, that for the first time now, Christian people are really on the radar of the Roman emperor. We don't really have any strong intimation of that up until this moment in Roman history. But here, Nero decides to blame these people, and of course his punishment toward them was exquisitely ugly. These were those famous incidents where he would douse them in tar, light them on fire, and use them to light his garden parties in the evening. That kind of thing and other more or less ghastly forms of persecution and punishment were launched against God's people now in Rome, and this imperial persecution spread throughout the empire. So for the next several years, we have Christian people throughout the empire, especially the leaders, who are subjected to all kinds of abuses along these lines. Many of them were killed, many were exiled. I believe personally that John's exile on the island of Patmos took place at this time, not later under Domitian, which is the view that some people take. But in any event, we do have a kind of widespread persecution, and that does, at least to some degree, inform the New Testament. We hear in Peter that we shouldn't be surprised at the fiery trials that are coming against us. That kind of language does seem to reflect this moment in which God's people were faced with this sort of really significant persecution. Christians had been persecuted up until this time, but up until this time it had always been at the hands of the Jewish world, especially in Judah, in Jerusalem, in various population centers throughout the Roman world. But now for the first time, it's the guns of imperial Rome that are turned against God's people. Nero, for his part, became increasingly erratic over the next several years. He was paranoid, he was megalomaniac in the extreme. Finally, the Praetorians had it. There was a plan to assassinate him. He heard about it. He escaped to Greece. There he was apprehended by the Praetorians. They gave him the option of killing himself or dying at the point of their sword. He took a knife, and just before he plunged it into his throat, his last words were, "Who knows? Who knows?" Is Phil here? Oh, Phil's not here. What an artist the world is losing. So that's the story of Nero.
How can I stop? You see the time we in? Hey, hey, huh, huh. How can I stop? You see the time we in? Hey, 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 hey. How can I stop? We see the time we in? Money what? I see through the green like it's Heineken. We up. Devil keep on talking. Time to silence them. Be quiet. Demons think they hollering. Treat them just like Vikings. Get popped. Glory to the Abba. They can't fight with him. Are you tough? Okay, then get slashed like in hyphen, then this wall. Hot your time thinking he can liken him. Funny story, they was gassing, bro. So we siphoned him, he's fumes. Need room in this garment, tell him blue ribbon my fringe. Praises to the most high and Mashiach his twin.
That's it, y'all. That's the ploy. And then with that Psalm 56.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna pass the song right now though.
Oh, you can't read it out?
I can't read it right now.
All right. Anybody want to read it? I got it out.
Hold on. I hit. Hold on. Let me see.
Sure.
That baby right now.
You want me to say loud? Or
Y'all can hear me pretty clear though.
you okay?
What about now? Still
Yeah,
okay?
a little bit.
I'm gonna hit it right now. Psalm 56. Show me favor, O Elohim, for man will swallow me up. Fighting all day long, he oppresses me. My enemies will swallow me up all day long, for many are fighting against me, O Most High. In the day I am afraid, I trust in you. In Elohim, whose word I praise, in Elohim I have trusted. I do not fear. What could flesh do to me?
Mm-hmm.
All along they twist my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They stir up strife. They hide. They watch my steps as they lie and wait for my life. Because of wickedness, cast them out. Put down the peoples in displeasure, O Elohim. You have counted my wanderings. You put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book?
Mm-hmm.
My days turn back in the day I called. This I know because Elohim is for me. And Elohim, whose word I praise, and Yahuwah, whose word I praise. In Elohim I have trusted, I do not fear. What can man do to me? On me, O Elohim, are your vows. I render praises to you, for you have delivered my life from death, my feet from stumbling, that I might walk before Elohim in the light of the lit. Hallelujah.
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 All praises. But that's the ploy, y'all.
Okay, that's the boy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.